I'm Chris Rollotta with your Sactown Sports headlines. Last night, the Denver Nuggets beat the Miami Heat 104-93 in their first franchise NBA Finals game. Nikola Jokic also added his name to the record books. He joins Jason Kidd as the only other player to record a triple-double in his NBA Finals debut. He finished the night with 27 points, 10 rebounds, and 14 assists. Nuggets and Heat are off until Sunday for Game 2 in Denver. The Athletics' Shams Charania is reporting that the Suns and Frank Vogel are finalizing a 5-year, $31 million contract to become the new head coach. Vogel was previously the head coach of Lakers, where he won an NBA championship in 2020. Those are your headlines. Let's get to Chris and Company with Whitey Gleason.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it's Friday. Whitey Gleason, Chris Watkins, Chris & Co. Special Friday edition. And if I'm not mistaken, Chris Watkins, the Nuggets were the team that was coming off of the layoff last night, but it didn't look like it.
It sure did not, no. And that's what I heard the same thing. I heard that they had 9 days off. I heard that they were supposed to come in rusty and look like a different team, but they look like they've been playing for like they never stopped.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, they picked right back up where they left off against the Lakers, and last night was a clinic. It was an absolute offensive clinic from the Denver Nuggets, and good on Miami for keeping it close a couple times there. But to me, they cut into that lead in the fourth quarter. Here come the Heat. Yeah, here they come, and then there they went. I just think it's going to be a lot of that. I think that that game one is just going to be a preview of things to come here.
Yeah. So there's not much, if anything, you're feeling good about right now if you're the Miami Heat?
I guess you can tell yourself you missed some shots. I think
in the fourth quarter.
Came back, I guess.
Interesting.
But all of those came with Jokic on the bench. Never really made any real headways when Jokic was out there.
Tyler Herro might be coming back.
He might be, that could help with them making perimeter shots. They really struggled last night. Max Strus didn't hit anything. He looked like me out there. Duncan Robinson didn't make much of an impact. I guess that's really the hope, is that maybe they can steal one of these games just off of 3-point variance. Maybe they just hit a ton of threes in a game and they just somehow outscore them. But Whitey, I don't feel any differently today after watching that not beat down, but again, I really felt like Denver never really was sweating in that game.
Speaking of how you're feeling, we appreciate you being in today when you're not tip top. Thank you for being with us today on Sactown Sports. Chris Watkins, he's not the type that would complain about this, but softball last night, playing with a bad wheel, which he re-injured during a tough loss. They were pitching, and bullpen let you down last night, right? We got walked off.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the bullpen's fault, but we got walked off last night, 4-1 heading into the last half of the last inning. And
tough way to start the new season.
It was tough. It was a rough way to start, but it's all right. We're just building that team chemistry. It's going to harden us.
It's a real test of your culture.
Yeah, exactly. It is. There was a lot of infighting happening after the game, but I think
finger pointing.
Yeah, a lot of finger pointing. No, I'm kidding. No, it's all fine. It was okay. It's all right. Unfortunately, that's not the first time we've lost in walk-off fashion. So This is it's becoming an too familiar feeling for what's our team Fired Up. So think about us on Thursdays, please, because
sounds like you got some water poured on you.
Yeah, I will. Well,
Fired Up was doused.
Fired out.
Yeah, sixth or whatever inning it was last night.
It was the sixth, bottom six. Yeah, it was a tough one. But we're gonna come back next week. We're gonna use that as fuel to. I think we have a double header actually next week, which is insane. I don't think we've ever done that before.
Big crowd expected.
Yeah, massive crowd. So if you're not doing anything Thursday, 6:30, come on out and support. Come support because we'll need it.
Have you ever played softball or basketball or anything at altitude?
No, but I could not imagine. I mean, I've done hikes in Lake Tahoe, if that counts. Some of those can get a little sketchy sometimes in terms of, like catching your breath, but never at like really serious altitude. It's always honestly been a really big fear of mine.
I walked about 5 flights of stairs in Mexico City.
Oh, I didn't think about Mexico.
Because they're way up there, right?
Yeah, like 7,000.
Right.
Yeah. About, 7 years ago at Christmas, we were in New Mexico. My wife has family there in Albuquerque, and we were staying at a hotel. So at one point, it was me and my brother-in-law and his 2 sons. Let's play football in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happened?
Needed a new set of lungs after that one.
Yeah. So it's really interesting. That's a huge factor for the Nuggets. They're a really good team, but all time, I mean, the numbers for the Denver Nuggets all time are very dramatic when it comes to their home court advantage. I have them here somewhere real quick. Let's see. In fact, the Nuggets and the Broncos and the Rockies, according to studies, they all have really dramatic home field advantages. I never thought of altitude affecting baseball, but the Nuggets, let's see, 350 all-time away from Denver. All-time 350 winning percentage. At home, 652.
Wow. That's massive. I mean, that's a completely different. I mean, that's huge. And it makes sense. It makes sense for basketball, right? Because of the constant motion and, getting, you really, especially come fourth quarter when the game really matters, you're gassed at that point. And it's not like, even with baseball, at least, and probably with football, I assume too, you're going to land early. You're going to have a couple days to kind of acclimate. Exactly. Try and acclimate, get a practice or two in there just so you can really feel the effects of it before you go in for a game. But especially with basketball in the regular season, I mean, there's times where you're landing day of or only the night before and then suiting up for the game the next day at 7:00. It's just like that almost seems unfair completely. Like, I mean, I'm not a runner. I don't know what it really feels like to be pushed to the limit and have altitude thrown on top of that.
It's a weird feeling, right, Chris?
I can only imagine.
You went up the stairs, Mexico City,
right?
When you're running out of oxygen, and it's a weird.
It's got to feel like your lungs are like burning almost, right? Yeah.
Well, the other weird thing is like your hands, like kind of. If you're there for a little bit, like your hands like start swelling up.
The whole body goes, hello, we're not getting enough oxygen here.
Yeah,
this is not good.
Like I said, a big fear of mine.
But I mentioned yesterday, one of the things that's interesting about this matchup is you got the Miami Heat. They didn't really take the regular season that seriously, but here they are. Denver did, and you can see why they did.
Right.
What do you get? What's the difference if you win in the regular season or not? Well, if you win, you get home court.
Right.
Which is especially advantageous.
Yes.
When other teams who visit you can't breathe.
It seems to be an issue for everyone. I mean, I think Denver is still undefeated at home in this postseason, which makes sense. And then going against LeBron last series, you saw, I mean, he played 40, pretty much 48 minutes in that game 4. But with these older guys that Miami's got, they're gonna start feeling it, especially if somehow this series does get extended to 5 or even 7 games. I think it's absolutely gonna play an effect with this Miami Heat team who they've got some younger guys, but relying on Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry the way they do, it doesn't bode well for them staying in Denver.
We try to hold ourselves accountable and also those who listen and
try
shoot us messages. And I know yesterday we had some fun with a gentleman who suggested, hey, it's time to trade Herro and Sasha for Caleb Martin. And after last night's game, that doesn't look like a necessarily great idea.
No, I don't think it was it wasn't a great idea at the time. It definitely doesn't look like a
you
great
weren't
idea.
Crazy about it ever.
It wasn't crazy about
Caleb
it.
Martin 1 for 7 last night.
Yeah, didn't quite look like Kobe Bryant like he did in Game 7.
Yeah. If you're the Heat, what do you think? Are you going to shake things up now? Going to put Kevin Love back in the starting lineup? Are you going to stick with this team and hope that Max Strus makes at least one of his shots in the next game?
Right. I think that's the thing, again, that Miami can take and try and spin as a positive is just they didn't make shots, and you'd have to believe Max Strus is going to hit a couple. Maybe, Duncan Robinson can hit a couple. With Tyler Herro coming back, maybe that makes their offense a little bit more dangerous. But I think that there's also concern with Tyler Herro coming back. Like, do you really want to, throw a wrench in everything that you had built to this point? They've been without Tyler Herro since the first round. They've had great success without him. Caleb Martin's a big reason why. Duncan Robinson as well. And then if you're going to throw in Tyler Herro's minutes, that kind of throws off everybody else as well. So you just better really hope that Tyler Herro comes in swinging. Because again, we said it yesterday, the finals are not the time to make adjustments. And if they're planning to make Tyler Herro a 25+ minute per game guy, just throwing him into this series, I think it's going to cause more harm than good.
Yesterday, I'm sure you remember, we were trying to figure out who's going to sing the national anthem. So last night I was doing something. I had to go outside for a second just as our national anthem. And I thought, I got to see who's doing it. And it was, how did we miss this?
Yeah.
Nathaniel Ratcliffe and the Night Sweats. They did the
Night Sweats.
Colorado-based blue-eyed soul country bluegrass group. Did a fine job, and they got like
Sure
a lot of guys in there, but I'm not familiar with them.
I am very unfamiliar with the Knights. Well,
Have you ever heard of them, Christopher Law? Did you ever?
Never.
Okay.
Really?
You've never
nice
heard? Job.
Okay. Yeah, they did a perfectly fine job. It's a decent song, and everybody knows it. But yeah, it's
true.
Sure that's going to be their shining moment. I don't think I'll ever hear from Daniel Radcliffe.
I think it was Nathaniel.
Radcliffe. I'm sorry, Daniel Radcliffe is Harry Potter.
You're a wizard, Harry.
That's my.
I ought not have told you that. Yeah.
I think I would have been more entertained if Harry Potter would have done the national anthem.
Yeah.
Would have been a little more entertaining.
Are we going to be entertained in this series? I asked my wife today. She was, she's trying to pretend like, I want Denver to win too, and she was rooting for the Heat all the way.
Yeah.
She, no, I want Denver to win too, and she goes, Jokic scored. I said, you're not rooting for the Heat. Anyway, I asked her, do you have anything? Or I said, you're not rooting for Denver. She's clearly rooting for the Heat. I asked her, you have anything for the show today? And she said, yeah. Why was that game so boring?
It's the Miami Heat's fault. I'm telling you, this is the game that they play. They like to muck it up. And, I think Denver did a great job of maximizing their possessions. But, yeah, Miami just doesn't play a very appealing style of play.
The ball's not going in.
Yeah, especially not when the ball is going in. A lot of mid-range jump shots.
Was any buckets even there last night?
He was not. Didn't seem like it. Hitting a lot of, missing a lot of shots. Didn't feel like he ever wanted to take command of that game. He had a good game. I think 13-7-7. Okay. But again, we talked about it. If Miami is going to stand a shot in this series, they need Jimmy Butler to be a star. They need Jimmy Butler 25 plus points per game if they're going to stand a chance here. Bam Adebayo did his part. He showed up. I think they were 6-0 going into that game when Bam scored over 20, got 26 last night. First loss of the postseason when Bam puts up that many points. To me, that's just a sign that that's not the path to success. They need Jimmy Butler to be the guy that he's been all postseason long.
The good news for the Heat, they made their free throws. The bad news,
they only took 2.
Shot 2. And that's one of those weird things. Is like you look at the officiating, right? Oh, the officials. Why do the officials care who wins game 1?
They don't.
They don't.
So, and let me tell you, there's no Nuggets bias either. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
The league is always fixed for Denver. This is ridiculous.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
No, guys, like it's just, there was a couple calls I think I can specifically think of where I was like, there's a lot of contact there on that finish, but the problem was Miami just wasn't attacking the rim nearly enough, and it's because they have such a huge height advantage or disadvantage, I should say.
Too small.
Way too small. And again, it's just another reason why I cannot see Miami really figuring anything out.
We're coming right back with an NBA coaching musical chairs update. Chris and Co. Sactown Sports.
The Kings season might be over, but Sactown Sports coverage never stops.
I feel like we grew a lot during this playoff series with our defense, and if we can sustain that during a year, that's going to help us a lot.
Stay tuned all off-season to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Pain is not normal. Repeat, pain is not normal. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here with the Good Feet store. Does this sound familiar? It's the end of the workday, and the pain in your feet, knees, hips, or back is unrelenting. Good Feet understands that you've likely already tried assorted remedies and solutions with no relief. And now you're pretty much resigned to living with the pain. But do not give in to the pain. Instead, come to the Good Feet store for their end-to-end 3-step arch support system. Good Feet is the nation's largest manufacturer and retailer of personalized arch supports. With arch supports in over 300 sizes, styles, and flexibilities, and an arch support specialist in each store. Come in today for a free, no-obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk around the store or around the center. Experience the comfort, balance, and support possible with the Good Feet system. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now in Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Stand by your Heat if you're a Miami Heat fan. This is Chris and Co. Whitey Gleason, Chris Watkins. Hey, we have some NBA coaching news, huh, Chris Watkins? Another one of these jobs has been filled.
Yeah, I mean the coaching carousel continues to spin, and now we have a filling in the Phoenix area for the Phoenix Suns head coach. Who would have thought Frank Vogel makes his return to the NBA after coaching the Lakers to a title in 2020?
Had success with Indiana before that.
Yeah,
and he went to Orlando right?
in between in a weird little middle period. But yeah, I mean, Frank Vogel's found great success in Indiana. Managed to coach a LeBron James, Anthony Davis led team in the bubble, and now he's going to be running the show in Phoenix. I don't think it's the sexiest hire, but it's okay. I think I would have liked Nick Nurse there more, or maybe a young assistant, but there's nothing wrong with Frank Vogel, a defensive minded head coach. It'll be interesting to see what kind of systems they run over there.
Yeah.
Though. I mean, Chris Paul obviously is going to be a big part of anything they do there. And then obviously Kevin Durant and Devin Booker.
They got to feel like they still have a shot.
Absolutely.
Very relevant.
I mean, if you have
the right decisions,
if you have Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, I mean, you're going to walk into next season as a favorite.
I don't follow it that closely, but I think they're pretty good.
they're all right. That Kevin Durant guy is pretty decent. Again, with CP and maybe they moved DeAndre Ayton this offseason. They've been talking about it the past couple years. Maybe this is the season, and maybe they look a whole lot different, but I think Frank Vogel at least is a name that's going to probably garner some respect there. He'll probably have to, he's not Doc Rivers, who I think walks in and just has a bunch of cachet behind him.
Wasn't Doc up for that job as well?
He was, and he about 10 minutes before we found out Frank Vogel got the job, there was also a report from Mark Spears that Doc Rivers took his name out of the race. So it's not that he didn't get the job. He removed his name from consideration.
It didn't come out yet, but I told Frankie Cardicelli that I also took my name out for consideration.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you needed to get that out before they announced it.
Yeah.
So that didn't really work.
Right.
Do either of you know, you probably both know, Frank Vogel, what he did on TV before he became a famous coach?
No.
He was once on David Letterman's Stupid Human Tricks.
What was
you know what that is?
I don't, but I can fill in the
here's David Letterman on his show and he would have people come out and there's Frank Vogel. He was like a high schooler or something, or a college kid, and I think he spun a basketball on the end of a toothbrush in his mouth, something like that.
That would be weird, stupid tricks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think that's what he did. It was something with spinning a basketball. Then, of course, he goes on to become an NBA head coach.
Wow. What a start. What humble beginnings for Frank Vogel. And it was at that moment when he was on Letterman as a young teen that he knew basketball is life.
1990 something. I don't know. I didn't see it when it happened, but I heard about it.
1986.
Wow.
Really?
He was very
and you
young.
are correct. It's a toothbrush. He's brushing his teeth while spinning a basketball on it.
Wow.
Oh, he is. Yeah.
Can you tell it's him? I mean, is it just like hi, I'm Frank Vogel, really young?
Yeah, you can. He's got his hair.
He does have the hair still, and he's got the same look for sure. And he's just brushing his teeth, and then the basketball is like on the end of the toothbrush. So it's not like he's purposely trying to balance the basketball. He's legitimately brushing his teeth.
I could never even really spin a ball on my finger.
Oh yeah, I could do it pretty good.
You could?
Really?
Wow. Yeah.
What's this key? What's the secret? Is the proper spin? I can get it for like 3 seconds. Like don't
two
look.
fingers.
Yeah, you know how you like after 3 seconds you lose it.
Yes.
You just keep doing it and doing it and doing it until you could finally
just keep doing it.
Keep going it for longer.
All right.
Here's my question.
That was like a summer 2 weeks of me just trying to spin a ball on my finger.
Which finger do you use?
I can use either one.
Really?
I have to start on my right, but then I could switch.
Either hand?
No, either hand, but which finger? Because
my index. Or I could do my middle finger.
Because I feel like some people do
I
it
could probably do all of
finger.
them.
Oh, okay.
Could you do
there's a basketball right behind you.
Yeah, I could do that.
Oh,
I could put it on I could put it on a pen and spin it on a pen.
You gotta get that. Yeah, we gotta do that. How many likes do you need before you do that on YouTube?
Yeah. Let's do a segment.
Anyway.
Man, no, I'm not really crafty with anything. I couldn't spin the ball. Can't really dribble much, so I couldn't really, I feel like, I'm just not a skill guy. Yeah,
give me the ball on the post, get out of my way.
Exactly.
Or I'll destroy you.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what do we have now? Are there any more openings? There's one, right? NBA coaching opening?
There is
North, I
one
think?
opening in Toronto. Yes, Detroit has now been filled by Monty Williams. Toronto's unfilled. Phoenix is now filled by Frank Vogel. Philadelphia,
Nick
Nurse,
Milwaukee,
and then Milwaukee is Adrian Griffin.
Uh-huh.
So there's
and Houston got a long time
Houston
ago.
got filled by Ime a while ago, which I forgot about until I saw him at the lottery. So now it's only down to one, Toronto, and we've heard rumors that Toronto is interested in Kings assistant Jordy Fernandez. I've seen a couple other reports that they're looking at some EuroLeague coaches as well. So
yesterday on NBA on Sirius,
absolutely,
Frank Vogel was saying, not Frank Vogel, Frank Isola, pardon me.
Hey.
I think he was saying that Steve Nash might get that job.
Yeah, which also makes sense as well. Steve Nash, obviously
Did a
Canadian
great job
royalty.
with the Nets.
Did a real bang up job with the Nets. That
don't know if he did a good job or not.
We actually don't, right?
No
because
idea.
I mean, it just seemed like he was there for ultimate vibes. He was just trying to make sure you good, Kevin. Okay, cool. Kyrie, okay, you're not good. Cool. All right. Well, we're just gonna roll the ball out. I like the Steve Nash fit in Toronto just because it does feel like a position where he could truly sit there for a while, and kind of like what Monty Williams' situation in Denver or in Detroit is, where Toronto people in Canada. I mean, Steve Nash is Canadian basketball royalty. I'm pretty sure he's heavily involved in the Canadian national team, and he's pretty much there. Jerry Colangelo for that. So him, running the only Canadian team in basketball would be probably a pretty cool, and they'd probably allow him to stretch his legs a little there.
How satisfying is it, Chris, to look at all this going on in the NBA? You got some, big time teams getting new coaches in, and you got coaches changing jobs, getting fired all over, and the Kings are sitting there going, "Yeah, good luck with that. We're good.
Yeah,
we're good."
I've been seeing on the timeline people worried that Jordy Fernandez will be going to Toronto.
Yeah. A lot of people very, very concerned that Jordy's going to Toronto. And, it makes sense. Jordy's a great coach and a great mind and seems like a great guy. But I think it would.
It's going to happen eventually, one way or the other.
Just give us one more year.
Just give us one more year is really all I'm asking for. I'm just like, just let us continue to build upon what we had last season. I don't want anything being shaken up after last year. I'd be very, very happy if we can just go into next year. Same staff, same everything. No, nothing down, just all positive.
Maybe just because I really want it to be, I think it's going to be Steve Nash up there. Maybe it's just because that's what I want to happen.
It makes a lot of sense. Again, like it just makes a whole lot of sense. And my pick would probably be Steve Nash. Well, actually, my pick would have been Nick Nurse. I don't understand. I know that there was some real conflict there between him and the players, but I really like Nick Nurse, and the Steve Nash hire makes a lot of sense because they're coming from Nick Nurse as well. I've talked about it before in the past, but teams tend to do that when it's you're going from a hard ass to one of the nicest guys, and again, just a guy who's really about free flowing and more of a player's coach kind of thing. Again, the Kings went from Dave Yeager to Luke Walton. It does not get more opposite than that, and that to me is probably the direction Toronto's going to go.
Now that almost everybody's filled their coaching voids, we will be awaiting, of course, the draft and free agency. Need your help with something here. We need your help, Christopher Laud. I want to put together a poll today on our YouTube site here. If the Kings were going to sign as a free agent a character from a basketball movie, who would be the candidates that we put in there? We're going to have, of course, others so people can have their own answer, but a free agent who's a character. So not like LeBron, because LeBron in Space Jam, he was LeBron. Or Michael Jordan. He wasn't a character. Yeah. So who would be some characters? How about Teen Wolf, Christopher Law? Should he be on the free agent list?
No, he's a high school player. I would go with Lewis Scott from Celtic Pride, who single-handedly took them to an NBA Finals championship.
Is that Alex English? No.
No.
Alex English was in a different movie. He was in Amazing Grace and Chuck.
It's Damon Wayans plays Lewis Scott.
Okay. All right. Lewis Scott. All right. Can we declare? I mean, players come out of high school all the time now, and they're in the NBA.
But he stopped being the wolf.
Christopher Law, I don't know.
I was like, you're not going to – Chris has got passionate thoughts on this.
Can we can put him on the list, can't we? Because he's the one guy that Watkins and I both came up with.
All right, let's do it. All right. We've decided, okay, there's an NBA coach that said, like, hey, we'll sign you if you're the wolf.
Okay. Yeah. So Lewis Scott from Celtic Pride, Teen Wolf. What else we got? Do you need a little more time to think about that?
I'm looking here.
Uh-huh.
How about Air Bud?
I already said high school. Now you're going with the middle school basketball player.
What about
I'm looking at the
Jesus
numbers.
Shuttlesworth?
Oh, yes.
Sure,
Jesus Shuttlesworth.
right.
Absolutely.
That works. How about Troy Bolton from High School Musical?
I give up. He may make the other category.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So would that work? Well, that's 3. We actually have 4 if we went Teen Wolf and Lawrence Scott, is it?
Lewis Scott.
Lewis Scott. And then Jesus Shuttlesworth. Are we okay with that?
That's
and other?
List. And other.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a reply.
Yeah. All right.
And reply,
yeah.
Yes.
There you
Other
can go
reply.
any which way.
Boom.
You can go with who is that from High School Musical that you want?
Troy Bolton.
Okay.
Great point guard.
That's your official pick,
That's
right?
my official pick. Yeah. He got scouted by New Mexico, I think. You know, he chose love instead. Love for a woman for music as well.
Definitely want him on your team.
Yeah, definitely want him on my team.
Yeah, so we'll get that up as quickly as we can. So we'd love to find out what you think of that. And up next, are we still finding out how good Jokic is? That's next. Chris and Company, Sactown Sports.
It's Cattles and Rami.
For me, what Jaylen Brown is, he's not an A. I would argue
he's a Robin,
down.
not a Batman.
He's a Robin.
Yeah.
He's a heck of a Robin. He's a top 5 Robin in the league. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sending Robin out to take out the best villain.
No, you need Batman.
Mr. Freeze. You need Batman
to get the Joker, right?
Absolutely.
You might send Robin after Scarecrow or
There
something.
you go.
You know what I mean?
Come on now. You're speaking on it.
So is Scarecrow Michael Porter Jr. in this scenario?
Cattles and Rami. Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
My father was a career United States Air Force pilot, and Memorial Day is a reminder of all he and so many others did for our country. Hi, this is Franklin Rosen with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now at the annual Memorial Day sale, everything in the store is on sale. Everything from living rooms to sofas to sectionals to dining rooms to home offices and so much more. And while you're there at Naturewood Home Furnishings, don't miss the parking lot clearance featuring drastically reduced closeouts, floor samples, and discontinued items now up to 50% off and more. Right now at the Naturewood Memorial Day sale, you can save in the store and in the parking lot. Whether you're looking to lighten the mood in your living room, brighten up your bedroom, or tighten up your home office, it's all available for you at Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
At SimpliSafe, we know during a break-in, every second counts. So our home security system is powered by 24/7 professional monitoring agents who use Fast Protect technology, only from SimpliSafe, to capture video evidence and verify a threat for fast police response. Now, install SimpliSafe your way. Do it yourself or have an expert set it up for you with new Pro Install. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplisafe.com/radio. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Guys, did you know that June is Men's Health Month? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T level is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your hormones are serious business, and most men start to see changes in their hormone levels starting in their 30s. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Get your T levels checked today by a local, experienced, and trusted healthcare professional. Revive Men's Health has successfully helped thousands of men since 2011. Experience and results matter. So, what are you waiting for? Call Revive today to schedule your free testosterone test and free exam. We know we can help you. We guarantee it. Celebrate Men's Health Month. Get your free T-level test and save $199. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Rilado here, Sactown Sports Headlines. Last night, the Denver Nuggets beat the Miami Heat 104-93 in their first franchise NBA Finals game. Nikola Jokic also added his name to the record books. He joins Jason Kidd as the only other player to record a triple-double in his NBA Finals debut. He finished the night with 27 points, 10 rebounds, and 14 assists. Nuggets and Heat are off until Sunday for Game 2 in Denver. The Athletics' Shams Charania is reporting that the Suns and Frank Vogel are finalizing a 5-year, $31 million contract to become the new head coach. Vogel was previously the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, where he won an NBA championship in 2020. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Chris and Company with Whitey and Watkins.
Special National Donut Day edition of the show. Happy National Donut Day.
Where are the donuts? That's my question.
I brought them in last week. So.
You did. Chris did.
Yeah.
That is true. Brought them in last week. It's fine.
I was a little early.
What's your go-to donut? Maple old fashioned, right?
No,
right?
Definitely not right.
What?
Definitely not correct. Maple bars are solid for sure. Yeah, probably a maple bar.
You're not like a jelly-filled guy.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
No,
Maple old-fashioned bar from Marie's is the best donut ever.
Maple
the
old-fashioned bar.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. A buttermilk bar from Marie's too. Pretty solid. Heat that thing up for about 10-15 seconds. Oh my goodness.
I believe Marie's just placed like
17.
Yeah.
What are we doing,
top
Yelp?
100, but that's in the country.
In the country.
And there's some place in Rockland that was
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
Number-
Come on.
No.
2.
Get out of here.
I think they're number one.
Yeah, they were number one. Yeah.
So you're mad. You're not glad Marie's was that high. You feel like they should.
It's got to be higher. It's got to be way higher.
Yeah.
The hours alone, come on. You can't beat it. You can't beat it. I live maybe like 3 to 5 minutes away from Marie's.
Yeah.
The amount of times, you know,
And you couldn't bring donuts in on National
I
Donut
was
Day.
thinking about it, but I'm like, dude,
it's the wrong way.
Today it's going to be like a lineup around the block.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. It's no good.
It's amateur hour for donut
Exactly.
people
This
today,
is
right?
like, the real people who love donuts are at donuts every day. You can't just show up on
Right.
the one day.
Good point.
Okay. It's like showing up to church on Easter or Christmas or something. It's like, okay, you know, if you're really a
Good
believer, you should show
Yeah,
up every day.
I agree with that.
Okay, not just on the day that's convenient.
And you're right
for you.
about Marie's. It should be higher. You're right.
Should,
Yeah.
absolutely. 17? Come
I'm
on.
Still working on slapping together our poll. What movie character from a basketball movie would you want the Kings to
Yeah.
sign in free agency? My brother Phantom says, do you remember Bernard King? You know Bernard
Yes.
King?
Yeah,
Bernard
absolutely.
King played a character Hustler in the movie Fast Break in 19. So he's got a mention here. Little Bow Wow from Justin Singh on
Calvin,
the YouTube.
Calvin Chambers.
Bugs Bunny from Space Jam from Michael Galley.
I think Lola was the better player, honestly.
Really?
If we're being honest, Lola was really the one that they turned to in clutch situations.
Also, probably easier to sign. Bugs is going to
Probably.
want a big
Right,
contract, and
yeah.
I'm not
Huge
sure
ego on
he's
that
worth
guy.
that many carrots
Oh,
anymore. Frank.
This is worth a question. Now, do one of the Monstars count because they did steal an actual NBA player's power?
I think we just say no, they don't. Right? I mean, it's
Yeah,
up to you're.
It would be easier.
It would be easier.
We defer to you on this, Chris,
Right.
because you've seen like every movie that's ever been made 5 times.
Yes.
So we have strong opinions, but ultimately, are you with me on that, Chris Watkins?
Yes,
We defer to
absolutely. No,
you.
Vermont is absolutely the
I
local-
think because it is the Charles Barkley Monstar, that does not count.
That's
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Did you see him in Grand Hill last night? They
They had the
sucking
oxygen mask. I think that was a joke,
I hope
but
so,
it was I mean, you know, it's very real, especially for Chuck. You know, you got to watch out for big guys like that. They could use some oxygen at any point.
Yes, I could see if you're on the panel with Chuck. I mean, he takes up a lot of oxygen.
Yeah.
And there may not be that much around. You may
No.
need to
No.
take
Have
care
you
of
ever
your
had to put
oxygen
one of
needs.
those on?
I'm trying to think, maybe in the hospital or something.
How terrified would you be if you
But
were
no,
on
I-
a flight in one of those, even if it was just like obviously, hopefully a malfunction, but like if those things fall at any point in my flight, I'm screaming my head off. Like I'm
Mhm.
turning into the largest 10-year-old girl out there.
I'm putting it on. And
That right there, literally that noise.
I'm
is
not
coming
screaming.
out.
I'm putting it on and asking all questions later.
Also,
that's
like,
what I'm like. I'm
yeah.
just because I actually pay attention when they.
I
go
try
over this.
to. I try to pay attention. You're supposed to do it to yourself first, and then
Yeah,
the
that's
kids
right.
as well.
That's right.
Is that
Yeah.
the order?
Yeah.
Which always makes me laugh because I'm like, so we're just
otherwise you
letting the
black
youth
out,
die.
and then
I
they're
guess.
sitting there,
Sure.
"Hey,
They're like nobody.
Put
Yeah.
my mask on.
You know what I would tell Mike? I say you could do it yourself. Survival of the fittest, kid. Now is not the time
Well,
to play
one way to
parents.
play it.
Okay?
You have to put your mask on before you assist when someone else's.
There you
That's
go.
right.
That's what
That's
it is.
right.
Because I also pay attention.
Yeah.
And, you know what's the worst too is when you're put in that emergency exit spot and they tell you like, hey, like you just so you know, this entire flight's life could potentially be in your
I didn't
hands.
sign up for that.
Literally, I'm just like, guys,
can I get a discount on my ticket or something?
Something, right? Yeah. I mean, I know you get extra leg space, but like, come on.
Yeah.
You're saving everyone's lives here potentially.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Well, Miami looked like they needed some oxygen at times last night. I know they rallied late, but Nikola Jokic, is it possible? And I love Jokic. I'm getting a little weary of all the talk about how great he is because, again, it's like National Donut Day. It's like, you should have known already how great he was. But are we still finding out how good he is?
I think so. I think especially from just like a mass media sense, I think that people are going to start having, you have to tell the Jokic story at this point. And you even heard Mike Breen last night kind of go into storytelling mode mid-game and was like, he rebounds like Moses Malone. He passes like Magic Johnson. You could just feel that there's definitely a sense of like an awakening happening right now with the general public in terms of Nikola Jokic's greatness for sure.
The thing I love about him more than anything is, of course, the passing, because that is something you can't teach. And some players have it.
Right.
Magic,
LeBron,
it's just the vision. Jokic, and they see things before they happen sometimes. And then also just he's so freaking efficient.
Right.
You know, his last night he had 27 points on 12 shots. He did get 12 free throws. But he had, 3 shots in the first quarter?
Yeah.
It's like they slowed down Jokic, and it didn't matter. They were losing by 9.
Yeah, and that's the greatness of him is like he can play that game where he's like, you know what? I'm just not going to score for the entire first half. He did it against the Kings earlier this year where he had, I think, like 3 points at halftime, but he had 10 points, 10 assists at halftime as a center. He's totally content with just sitting back, setting up other guys. We saw Aaron Gordon last night get off to a massive start. Those are the kind of things that are just good for the team spirit. Like, yeah, sure, Nikola Jokic can go out there and score 20 points each half, but it's a lot better for the Denver Nuggets as a team if they can get Aaron Gordon 12 easy first quarter points, if they can get Michael Porter Jr. going. They didn't even get KCP involved really last night. I think that's another element that they can add to their team to just make them more dangerous. To me, the glory of Jokic is, the guy he does not ever rush anything. It's all on his time, and everything is really available. And worst comes to worst, he can take a last-second shot and just be taller and higher release than everybody and get something off easy.
This is not a fair comparison, but I think there's something maybe for Sabonis to learn from Jokic. You remember in the first possession of the series between the Kings and the Warriors, and Sabonis gets the ball, and Looney's off of him, and for a second, everything kind of stops. Sabonis looked like, whoa, haven't seen that before, and he struggled with it, right? Yeah, Jokic last night saw double teams, he saw every different look, and it's like, whatever they threw at him, okay, I got it. Either I'm going to the basket or I got somebody open in the corner. So, obvious pointer, maybe Sabonis could benefit
Take
from
some notes.
further studying. I mean, he's just so good. Jokic is so I'm not saying you need to be like him. I'm just saying, wow, there are worse guys you could try to learn from.
Right, absolutely. And I think Sabonis is definitely like that Jokic light, honestly. Their games are really similar in terms of how they play. It's just Nikola Jokic is about 4 to 5 inches taller, and honestly, he's
a better shooter.
He's a better shooter, and he's got better vision. He's just a little bit better at everything than Domantas Sabonis. But you're right; like there's things in terms of the mentality that he can take from Jokic, and just not making quick decisions, and whatever it is that you decide to do, just make sure that you do it full-heartedly, and you don't you're not hesitating at all. To me, that was the big thing that Sabonis really struggled with, was even when he did decide to take that mid-range jumper that they gave him, he was hesitant. He was like, I guess, okay, that's not there. Okay, I will take it. Instead of just, again, being incredibly decisive, and whatever you do, you just got to stick with the result and live with it. But obviously, that's a lot easier said than done, and especially the way Jokic makes it look so easy. It's like you're saying.
And he's also it's like bigger. Jokic is bigger.
Massive, right? I mean, you send a double team at Jokic, and it's like, 2 toddlers trying to take the ball from me. You can just put the ball above your head. With Sabonis, he's 6'10", 6'11". That's a little bit easier to disrupt for these, I say, normal-sized NBA players.
As we were saying yesterday, Denver doesn't really have a point guard.
Yeah.
And last night at times, Miami, I thought they had some success putting pressure on Jamal Murray. There was to start the fourth quarter. He lost the ball, fumbled it away, and they scored, and that got him going on a run. But so I was thinking, well, if I'm the Heat, I'm putting a lot of pressure on Murray and Denver in the backcourt. But if you do that, once they get the ball to Jokic, you're screwed.
It's over.
Yeah.
That's the problem is again, like he's just the great equalizer or not even equalizer. He just takes them over the top because that, they just have no answer for him. There's really nothing you can do. They tried throwing out Cody Zeller out there for a couple minutes. That didn't really help.
I think somebody suggested that yesterday.
Yeah, they did. Did you see Nikola Jokic send Cody Zeller into the third row?
I did.
Might have been an offensive foul, but we're gonna let that slip. I mean, he completely and it was the second Jokic. You said he took 3 shots going. The second he saw Cody Zeller was on him, he was like,
he can't guard me.
He can't guard me
this,
now.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Watch this. And that's the danger is that
I don't even know if he needed to shove him out of the way as he
didn't have to. No, he did not have to, but he just sent Cody to the fourth row. That's the impossibility of playing Nikola Jokic is you have to decide, okay, are we going to let this guy be a scorer? Or are we just going to let him nickel and dime us all night long? And he will do either, and the Nuggets will be fine, whichever one he chooses.
And last night it was, all right, we're not going to let him score on us early. He didn't, but he still ended up with
27 on 12 shots.
Yeah, they still kicked the Miami's behind.
Right.
So.
I mean, that's the thing.
Now what, coach?
Yeah,
You're the greatest coach ever. Now what?
Yeah, now what? Because that's the thing is like, again, even if they try and say, all right, we'll do the Sabonis thing. We are not going. We don't care. You can do whatever you want. Take that mid-range jump shot all day. We're just going to block off that Aaron Gordon seal off. We're going to, make sure Michael Porter Jr. doesn't hit anything. We're going to make sure Jamal Murray's locked down. Jokic will just give you 50, like he will. And you maybe could argue that that's a more likely path to success for Miami, but you're not going to win many games when somebody's star scores 50. Like even then, he'll probably still get 6 or 7 or even 8 assists with 50 points on top of that. He's an impossible problem to try and figure out.
I'm not sure this series is going to be a very long series. I don't know about you.
I keep telling you. I'm saying I only say Denver in 5 out of respect for Miami. That again, maybe something weird can happen when they're back in South Beach. But I just cannot see any possible path for Miami to win these games unless they just go absolutely ballistic from 3.
All right,
that's
we have the Christopher Law. We have the poll up on YouTube.
We do.
Yeah. And who are the options here that you can vote for? The free agent you'd want the Kings to sign from a basketball movie.
So we've got Scott Howard from Teen Wolf, Lewis Scott from Celtic Pride, Jesus Shuttlesworth from He Got Game, and then your choice.
Your choice. Like, let's see, Little Bow Wow I mentioned. Adam Sandler from Grown Ups from Tin Lamb. So
I'm looking Shea Serrano, who is definitely the authority on all things movies and sports, has the 2 men from White Man Can't Jump as their number 1 fictional sports characters. Should we have included them?
Was that Woody Harrelson and
Wesley Snipes? Wesley Snipes. Yep.
I don't think
any thoughts on that, Verlad?
They're just street ball.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're number 1. Oh, Brian, have you ever seen Thunderstruck?
No.
The Kevin Durant
Durant is in it. I haven't seen it, but I know.
Apparently, Brian from Thunderstruck is.
I believe
also made the list.
He gets struck by lightning and he becomes a basketball player.
Not quite like Mike. Then, like Mike is, he finds the shoes, puts on the shoes, gets Michael Jordan's powers. This
you
kid
can vote
gets,
for him.
You got
for him if
these
you
are
wish.
all options. Shep from Above the Rim. Another option.
We'd love to hear what you think here. Also coming up, a 49er rival is ready to take advantage of the NFL rule on kickoffs. It's even dumber than I thought it was when it came out. That and more next on Chris and Co. Sactown Sports.
Are you ready to hear this on Sactown Sports?
Handoff McCaffrey. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Or how about this?
Feel super, baby! The 5-time Super Bowl champions, and they're looking for number 6.
Catch every Niners game during the 2023 season
on your home for the 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. With CalHope's free and secure mental health resources, it's easy to get the help you and your loved ones need when you need it the most. Call or text our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you find the right customers. Spread awareness of your product or services. We can help build trust in your brand and services with a digital marketing campaign. Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get started today. Contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
Carmichael Dave here. Spring here. Long, cold, rainy winter behind us. And I know you're counting the days until summer, but don't wait until it's hot to make sure your air conditioning is working efficiently and safely. Get ahead of the problem with a $49 AC tune-up from my friends at American Energy Heat and Air. Nothing worse than having your AC go out when it's hot outside. Get a tune-up today to make sure you and your family are comfortable and cool in your home for the hot summer months that are right around the corner. Give them a call at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Or schedule your appointment online like I did last year around this time at AmericanEnergyAir.com. Don't wait till that AC goes out. Call my friends today, 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton & Price in your corner. When you call Ashton & Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real-life person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit KHTK.com.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kip Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kip Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Now through Memorial Day, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Sitting at your desk, watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Which fictional basketball player from a basketball movie would you want the Kings to sign in free agency? Jesus Shuttlesworth. He got game at 62% of the vote. Let's see here. Then we have at 12% at this point, Scott Howard from Teen Wolf, Louis Scott, Celtic Pride, and then other. And somebody's getting a lot of run now, Chris Watkins. This is Chris and Co., Sactown Sports, Whitey Gleason with Chris Watkins today. Bo Cruz getting a lot of run. And Bo Cruz, of course, played by, not based on, I shouldn't say, but played by Juancho Hernan Gomez, who I think is playing in Europe and may actually be an NBA free agent. I don't know who has his NBA rights.
He played in Toronto for parts of last year. I don't know if he finished there. I I feel like Bo Cruz is a better player than Wancho.
I think so.
I firmly believe that. And, Bo Cruz is a good shout, but we can't also forget that Bo Cruz was, we never saw how his career played out, but he really had to struggle to get into the league. I think he's okay. He's okay, but I don't know if he's better than Jesus Shuttlesworth. He seemed like he was one of those kind of guys. Yeah, like definitely a developmental project. Probably goes to Stockton G League and might kill it out in the G League, but plays about 7 or 8 minutes. Maybe Bo Cruz isn't better than Wancho Hernan Gomez. Actually, the more I talk about it, I'll take Kermit. I'll take Anthony Edwards from Hustle over him for sure.
I am disappointed in the YouTube voters. Lewis Scott is the only one on there that has won an NBA championship. The only one. He's got the success. He's been there before.
You're big into rings culture.
Rings culture. He did it by himself. That's the thing.
With the Celtics too?
I don't know how.
No, with the he did it with the Jazz.
Ooh,
really?
Yes.
That's a major accomplishment. That's organization's only ring too.
See, that's like science fiction. That's too hard to believe. It's hard to suspend disbelief.
Like the Kings playing the Knicks in the NBA Finals.
Yeah. What movie is that from?
That How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days?
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Sactown Sports YouTube. You want to participate in that, and we'll see if Jesus Shuttlesworth ends up carrying the day.
He's running away with it.
Yeah, we're not going to devolve into that. What's the best basketball movie? That's a great movie.
Great movie.
Period.
Fantastic.
Not just basketball movie.
No, it's just a great movie.
Yeah. Pretty soon we'll be talking more and more 49er football here on your new Valley home of 49er football.
Yeah.
I just saw yesterday that one of the 49ers top rivals is all geared up for this new kickoff rule in the NFL, which the more I look into it, the more I realize it is even stupider than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really
allowing fair catches on kickoffs this year, supposedly, because the NFL is so concerned about concussions. We've got to do whatever we can to curb concussions, get a lot of concussions on kickoff returns. So if you allow fair catches on kickoffs, you'll have fewer returns, and it's great for player safety.
Whitey, why don't they just get rid of the kickoff? It's what they want to do anyway. They're spiritually doing it. I just don't understand why they're slowly doing it. Just rip the Band-Aid off. Just get rid of kickoffs, put the ball at the 25-yard line. I don't know why they're trying to do this. I mean, it's filling time. That's all it is. It's time wasting. If this were baseball, they would have cut it out with the new additions with the pitch clock and all that. To me, it's in the same breath as all the dumb baseball stuff that it's just like we're wasting time here.
I guess they can't, which is encouraging to me. I like you.
No, I love the kickoff if they're going to do it.
I think they would do it.
Right.
I mean, you go back last 10 years, there's been talk of it.
Yeah.
So they would do it if they could get away with it. But I think they feel like, and it's rare for them to do this because they don't care. You practically can't tackle anybody in football anymore. So for them to decide, wow, there's something we really need, something precious about the very fabric of football that you need in the kickoff.
Right.
Good. I'm glad they're at least trying to retain it.
Right. And
this is stupid.
This is really stupid. I don't understand the rule at all. And it's just, I mean, I guess I understand too, like special teams coordinate, like those are jobs. And I don't, I don't think the NFL is in
every
any
special
rush to
teams coordinator said, no, we do not.
There's no way, right?
We're not in favor of this new rule
because it's essentially forcing teams to, you have to squib kick it, right? Like that's going to be,
probably going to get a lot of that. Yeah.
That's probably going to be the counter to that, because I don't think, and I could be wrong, but I don't think you could fair catch a squib kick. Right. Because besides that, I mean, teams are just going to fair catch everything. I mean, I know, there's maybe some teams that'll be more aggressive, but I just don't see what the value would be in running it back at this point.
Pete Carroll, coach of the Seattle Seahawks, boo, says we're going to compete with it. We're going to use it to our advantage. We're pretty good in those areas. We like to think we're a good return team. We can make those things happen. Really cool. It'll depend. I think you'll see an effect during the course of the season as the weather changes, stuff like that.
Okay.
If you're going to take it at the 25 or not, we'll compete with it. We'll see how we look, see if our core group can continue to give us good work like we've always counted on.
Those are a lot of football coach words.
Yeah. I'm not thinking we're taking a knee on everything now. We're going to be very aggressive.
Okay. Well, Pete Carroll is going to zig when everyone's zagging. More power to you. I just don't think that the math is going to equal out. I mean, something tells me that even if you bring it out, you'll probably end up more times than not around the 25-yard line. Like, I think it's a very strategic placement that they've given the new yard spot, and it's again, I just don't see the value in doing it. Like, you're going to get, maybe on a good season, you'll get 3 kickoff returns for touchdowns. Like, maybe besides that, yeah, you'll get an average of starting at the 27-yard line instead of the 25. I don't see the point in doing it. Good on Pete Carroll. I'd love to see the kickoff happen. It's, it is the most dangerous play in sports, but it's also, really fun when it works out. And, it's just sad that they're pretty much all but eliminating it from the game.
So you don't have to catch the ball, right? If it's a fair catch, you don't even have to catch the ball.
You would still have to catch the ball.
Would you?
You would still have to catch the ball.
Of course, I call for fair catch.
It's the same logic as that. It's the same. You still would have to catch the ball.
Catch the ball, yeah.
But
you're right.
It doesn't matter. I don't know. None of it makes any sense. I guess. No, it doesn't. I cannot figure out how this is going to improve the game. Obviously, it improves player safety, but it's just
theory. And they don't really care about that either.
Right.
As far as all the squib kicks, Pete Carroll says, I think we'll check it out.
Sure.
Everybody will be checking that out to see how effective. There's such an uncertainty about the squib kick.
Right.
If guys knock that thing down early, they get it early.
Exactly.
You get it ricocheted back at you too. So
Sure.
It isn't obvious that it's going to be making any kind of difference.
Right.
Obviously, there's going to be unintended consequences.
Right.
He doesn't know. He says, we're going to be aggressive, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. You pay the special teams coach. You're not just going to tell him, yeah, every time we do this, just waive it. I can see. I see the logic. I don't think it's going to work out for him. Like, I just don't see how that
It's
you're
going to be a coaching thing, right? Some teams are going to tell the guy, you catch everything.
It's going to be a mentality kind of thing too.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's going to be, I don't care if we get it back to the 20, as long as we're hitting people and we're letting them know that we're here to play. That's the football way. There's absolutely going to, Dan Campbell will absolutely be a coach who thinks like that. But I think the smart organizations, the teams that are very analytically driven, something tells me that they're all just going to fair catch it, and it's gonna be the right move.
I'm with Pete on this. I'm not with him on a lot of things necessarily.
I like the spirit of it. But,
but I'm thinking that kick coverage is going to suffer because teams will not have to cover as many kicks. So I'm taking advantage of that.
Sure.
I'm returning the ball and I'm taking it. I'm right in the teeth.
Right. It is something
tackle me now.
They won't be ready for it, right?
Yeah.
Especially if maybe you can strategize it and fair catch the first 3, and then on the 4th one, when they're expecting a fair catch, that's when you go full tilt. I like that, and I think that teams will find a way to be strategic in it, but I think overall the point of this is to eliminate kickoffs. Yeah, it sucks. It really sucks because kickoff returns.
It'll be a sad, sad day.
Kickoff
this is a pretty sad day
great.
too because this rule is stupid.
It's really stupid.
Up next, the Miami Heat. They're missing something, and it ain't Tyler Herro. Tell you what it is next on Chris and Co. Sactown Sports.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
It's Thunder Valley's $20,000 20th anniversary cash giveaway. 5 winners on Friday and Saturday nights in June. One very lucky guest wins $20,000, guaranteed. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton. See all our inventory and specials at AcuraofStockton.com.
Everyone knows that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Kenny and Jerry here from Bell Brothers. And that's especially true when it comes to your air conditioning system.
A precision tune-up and professional cleaning costs a little bit up front, just $87, but will prevent much bigger, more expensive, and inconvenient problems later.
We actually replace systems all the time from people who don't get annual tune-ups. They either forget or they just don't realize it's important. So instead of their systems lasting 12 or more years like they should, they need to be replaced in just 6 or 7 years.
Don't risk it. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Call Bell Brothers for an $87 air conditioner precision tune-up today and keep your system clean, energy efficient, and in good working shape.
Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234 or online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
Let's change this to that by properly disposing of litter, picking up after our pets, reducing pesticide use, and regularly servicing your vehicle. Learn how to protect our waterways at BeRiverFriendly.net.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Rolado with your Sactown Sports headlines. Last night, the Denver Nuggets beat the Miami Heat 104-93 in their first franchise NBA Finals game. Nikola Jokic also added his name to the record books. He joins Jason Kidd as the only other player to record a triple-double in his NBA Finals debut. He finished the night with 27 points, 10 rebounds, and 14 assists. Nuggets and Heat are off until Sunday for Game 2 in Denver. The Athletics' Shams Charania is reporting that the Suns and Frank Vogel are finalizing a 5-year, $31 million contract to become the new head coach. Vogel was previously the head coach of the Lakers, where he won an NBA championship in 2020. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Chris and Co. with Whitey and Watkins.
Before we get back to the NBA Finals, one more thought on the NFL and the new fair catch rule. It's Whitey Gleason, Chris Watkins, Chris and Co. I don't have this all the way figured out yet, Chris, so bear with me.
Okay.
But you have a fair catch, and a fair catch on the kickoff is stupid. We need to account for, like, once a game, a team can have an unfair catch. And I don't know if that would be either, it's one of two things. Either an unfair catch is calling for a fair catch, then I catch it and run.
Yeah,
right. Or the other side of it, which is you can call for a fair catch, but I don't
have to honor it.
Yeah.
I like the second one a lot more. There's like some trickeration in the first part, but I would love to see some unsuspecting man who's just like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, I called the fair catch. We're good. People are just going to run by me. And then just to get absolutely, that probably speaks more about me and what
There could be like a huge light in the stadium where it's like red means like it's a fair catch, but like someone could press a button or that and it turns green. It's like, uh-oh.
Yeah. I don't think now the only problem with that is,
oh my God, I really love
not
that.
the only problem, but a big problem is I don't think that's going to do anything to limit concussions.
No, I think
the number may actually go up.
I think the concussions might go down, but decapitations might rise. Okay. I think that would be the thing. You wouldn't have a concussion because you wouldn't have a head.
Concussions are down.
Concussions are down.
17 guys died.
Well, pick your poison,
if you're going to make an omelet, you got to break a few eggs.
Exactly. I think oh, yeah. I love it. I absolutely love that. I think that would make this sport 10 times better. I would not advise anyone to play the sport after, but my gosh, that is definitely something. Can we get The Rock in charge of this so that maybe they can workshop it in the XFL first for a year or something?
I remember when the XFL first started, the first XFL, which was what, 2000?
2001.
2001. I remember when they were talking about, this league's going to be great. They were saying we will not have a fair catch.
Yes.
That's what they were saying. And I think someone went to them and said, you kind of have to.
I think the difference was instead of the 2-yard halo, there was a 5-yard halo.
Yeah, something like that. But at first it sounded like, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
guys are going to get destroyed.
Well, remember they didn't have coin tosses to start the game. It was like a race with a ball. I can't remember.
Was it like a dodgeball style thing?
So you start, the ball is like 10 yards away, and both of you are on the same line, and you sprint towards it, and the first person to get it.
It's like, here you go.
Like an Oklahoma drill, kind of.
Yeah.
Like a loose ball.
And I want to say the first time they ever did it, the guy separated his shoulder.
Right.
Like the first game, that's what happened.
And I know it wasn't, but I want to say it was He Hate Me.
Yeah,
that's all I remember.
Oh, no. He Hate Me was around for a while.
No, yeah, that's like.
Is that Rod Smart?
Yes.
Is that He Hate Me?
Yes.
Yeah. Did he ever actually play in the NFL?
For the Panthers?
I think he
did. He
did.
have they should have allowed him to put He Hate Me on the NFL jersey.
Yeah.
That's just right. That's just right.
So anyway, that's my idea. Okay, fair catch.
I love it.
Got to have the unfair catch. There's something to be said for the other thing, which is waving the fair catch and then taking it.
Right. Well, then I think if that's
game,
if that's the case, then you should still be able to level him, because that's just unfair. I mean, if you're gonna
the unfair catch.
I mean,
that's what we're
great.
calling
That's
it.
a great point. It's a great point. It's a great point.
Yeah.
I see some flaws in it. I really like the second
too.
part. The second part I really, really enjoy. Just absolutely taking somebody's head off. That sounds like the football that I love and miss. But
yeah. We're not actually advocating violence.
No,
we're just
of course
some
not.
fun
I would
with
never.
A stupid new rule.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's just just good old fashioned fun talk.
Your boy True King is back on the
YouTube
chat.
I see that.
Yeah.
He's actually on our side today, saying saying football is 70% dead time. Ooh, gave a little math equation out there. I can't read all that, but he agrees. Violence is part of the game, and I mean, he's got some interesting takes for sure. True King.
Yeah. Do you believe Tom Brady, by the way? He says, I'm done for reals, because he got a lot of things going on with the Raider quarterback situation, which we'll get to.
I don't believe you, Thomas.
Really?
I don't believe him. I think now, I mean, why now? Why retire now? Now he's got all the free time. He doesn't have the wife, doesn't have to deal with the kids all the time. He's got nothing but spare time. And now he wants to retire. Now he wants to enjoy Tom solo time. I mean, I don't know. I just think that Tom Brady doesn't seem like a guy who wants to quit football anytime soon. And I think he's still got a little bit something left in there. Like, is he going to be any worse than what Jimmy Garoppolo would be in Vegas? I know he's got some ownership stake in there. Maybe, if that Jimmy G situation goes sour, could we see Mr. Brady slide his way in there?
Okay, I'm done. I hate to keep saying it, but people keep asking.
Of course people keep asking. Of course, people keep asking.
He retired a year ago. I wonder if he and Giselle had some issues, and he used football to get out of his marriage. Yeah,
that would be crazy.
I really wanted to retire last year, but I had to keep playing so I could get out of this relationship.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm not going to assume. How does that work too? Because do the Bucks still have his contract, or is he a free agent? Was his contract with the Bucks
free now? Because I don't know how many years that was, but I have to look into it.
Yeah, because I mean, if he's just able to come back, if he's a free agent, what makes you say that he's done? Like, why do you believe that this time it's for real?
Because he's shown no interest in coming back, and it's harder. It's one thing if you stick around,
sure,
but then you leave at that age and then try to come back. It's even harder. And I think,
but he hasn't missed anything yet. He's only missed OTAs at this point. Like, he can still. I mean, and I don't know if he's been working out as rigorously as he typically would, but
the other thing is he can't pick his situation anymore, right? There aren't as many. Yeah, you want to play, okay, you can only play these teams. The good teams are set, so you can step in like the Raiders situation,
right? Okay, in that sense, right? Yeah, sure. He doesn't have his pick of the litter.
I mean, like, I guess technically San Francisco, but
I don't know.
Even then, it's like
that would be a total Niners move to get Tom Brady.
Yes, yes. It's like Brock Purdy's our guy. We might go Trey Lance. Sam Darnold's throwing a beautiful football. No one throws a better football than Sam Darnold. We're going to sign Tom Brady, and he's going to play all 17 weeks for us. 18.
How differently would things look here in hindsight if the 49ers had gotten
Brady all those years ago?
After they lost to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl?
He probably would have been retired for real, because I think they probably would have won a Super Bowl in between that period from then and now.
They might have won the last.
They might have won the last two.
The last two they might have.
You could definitely argue that a healthy Tom Brady in these last 2 years probably would have resulted in a Super Bowl, probably would have walked off. Yeah, I mean, that would have made a lot more sense for his retirement plan. He's done. I feel like well, you know what? I will say to bolster your argument, I do think if he were to come back, it would have to be a situation that he would feel like, I can win in this situation immediately. Like, he's not just going to come back to play football for the love of the game. Absolutely not. He's only
going to be part of a rebuild.
Exactly. Yeah. Josh McDaniels and yeah, no, that's not going to happen. So I guess in that sense, that does make a lot more sense for him staying retired, because him going to the Raiders, like, the Raiders are not a Tom Brady away from a Super Bowl.
No, I don't think so.
You got a good target. You get Devontae Adams still, but at least in that, the Niners situation, I would argue now makes more sense than, the Raiders situation does. And, I think if, obviously they have the three quarterbacks, but if he is going to return anywhere, I think San Francisco is the spot that makes the most sense for him.
If you're Sam Darnold right now, aren't you hearing the news about Brock Purdy and saying, well, okay, I guess, I don't know.
I don't have a shot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless he thinks I'm going to beat out Trey Lance.
Well, I think he might think that he can beat out Trey Lance. And, at that point, I think this Brock Purdy, and I know Brock Purdy's ahead of schedule. We talked about yesterday, he started throwing. I am not so certain that Brock Purdy is just going to be the Brock Purdy we saw of last year. I think it's pretty reasonable to wonder if
because of his health or just natural regression.
I think his health. I think both. I think the fact that his arm isn't going to be the same, especially coming right off of surgery, and then also he played incredibly well for a guy who was the last pick in the draft. I think it's okay to maybe question, was some of that. He played the game. It's not like it was fake, but was some of that maybe just the right time, right place, good fortune. What's going to be the situation when there's a lot of pressure on him and a lot of expectations on him? I think that carries a little bit different of a weight than coming in with nothing really to lose. You're the Niners' last option and all you can do is really impress. I've heard it said before, Brock Purdy doesn't need to rush back either. Like, he's got enough tape on him that where, if he wants to take his sweet time coming back, he can find a situation for him if maybe the Niners fall in love with Trey Lance or something like that. I just don't necessarily think that Brock Purdy should be in any rush to come back. And even if he does come back quickly, I don't necessarily know if that means that he's going to be the guy that we saw last year.
When we come back, we'll look at what Miami is lacking, and it is not Tyler Herro. Also, the league prepares to come down hard on Ja, what that means for him, the league, and the Kings. That's next. Chris and Co. He's Watkins. I'm Whitey, Sactown Sports.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Going straight over to the golf course and getting a lesson because I got a charity thing at Friday. And
Why do you still take lessons?
Because I suck.
I know, but they haven't helped.
And the last time I played golf was the Magoonie tournament where I lost 17 balls in 18 holes. I hope after a lesson, Mr. Nice and supportive, that I
am
less.
trying to support you. Stop wasting your money.
Play in this tournament.
You're going to lose anyways.
What do you want me to do? You want me back out of the tournament?
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Progressive protects more than just your home and car. You could save when you bundle your motorcycles, ATVs, boats, and RVs. Doesn't that sound good? Like the sound of the wind in the trees as your RV sits parked in the forest. Is that the call of the majestic owl? And there's the sound of the tree branch crashing into the roof of your RV. Oof, I guess their nest was in that branch. But you know what does sound good? You're covered with Progressive. So bundle all your vehicles and home in one place and save with the multi-policy discount. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers.
Greetings from M&S Auto on El Camino just off the Cap City Freeway. And a big thanks to our repeat customers for letting us be your favorite car dealer. Repeat customers make us proud. M&S customers know that they're going to find the car, 4x4, or SUV they want. They'll get treated like family and save thousands. Whether you're a repeat customer or a first-time buyer, welcome. M&S Auto, the intelligent car buying experience. msautogroup.com.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
The NBA Finals are here. Are they already over? Last night, Denver kind of shook off whatever rust they may have been dealing with, knocked off the Heat 104-93. The game was not as close as that score would suggest. Miami had a little run there in fourth quarter. They outscored Denver by 10, but at no point was Miami in any real position to threaten to win that game.
No, I mean, they cut it to under 10 or to 10 points exactly to really to come out in the second and the fourth quarter and do that. But by the time the quarters were over, Miami or Denver had found some sort of rhythm, some sort of groove, and it just figured out everything that Miami was trying to throw at them. And,
it looked like really at the end of the first quarter, Miami started getting tired. Yeah. It was one of those,
Yeah. It's tough.
Need some oxygen.
Just wait for when's the next game? Sunday? Saturday?
Yeah,
Sunday. Oh,
Sunday.
Yeah.
Miami gets Tyler Herro back perhaps at some point, game 3 or so, but he's not what they're missing. They're just too small.
They're way too small at every single position. Miami has the size disadvantage. I mean, Kyle Lowry's smaller than Jamal Murray, and KCP is 6'6".
Did you see my guy Aaron Gordon last night? Every time I looked around and said, Gabe Vincent's guarding?
Gabe Vincent was guarding him, and he was like, well, if you're going to do this, I'm just going to lay it right in. And it was really easy. I mean, that's literally how they got like their 15 of their first 20 points or whatever. It was just easy points for them. And that's something, again, I just don't see how Miami overcomes that. They really just don't have much size, even on their bench.
You got to make a ton of shots, and you got to get to the foul line. They didn't get to the foul line more than twice.
Yeah.
And they made 13 threes. So, yeah, there's a chance there, but they've got to be not perfect, but close to it.
No, I think they have to. I think they have to be perfect. Like, I don't see any other way for them to win except for playing great defense, but also they still have to put up. How many points did they end up with last night? 87? Was that what it was?
Final 93.
93?
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to have to score more than 90, especially against this Denver Nuggets team that's one of the best offenses that we have in the NBA. You're going to have to put up at least in the finals 105 to 110 points if you're going to want to keep up with Denver. It's just that their offense is almost guaranteed to put up that even on off nights.
Yeah, and I think this is a bad matchup for Jimmy Butler. And he's a really good player. We know that. But I think this is a tough matchup for him. And if he's having a tough time, it's really tough for Miami to get much traction.
Yeah, I mean, they just don't have anyone to really for Jimmy to expose. Like even Michael Porter Jr., who's a turnstile defensively, like he's still got length on him. And then if he's going to blow by him, you're going into the paint to go against Nikola Jokic. And, you know, maybe that's Miami's hope, is just running at Jokic until hopefully they can get him in foul trouble. But even then, he's just too smart, and they have other guys who can protect the rim as well. I mean, Aaron Gordon's really big. They have answers for just about anything. The only way that, in my opinion, Miami has a shot is if Jokic gets in foul trouble or Jokic gets hurt and gets taken out of the game. But as long as Nikola Jokic is playing 40-plus minutes in these games, they don't have any answer for him.
Before the game, Adam Silver had some answers to questions about what's going on in the league, including some answers to a question about Ja Morant. And he didn't clearly, as you'll hear here, he didn't really want to talk about it, but had some interesting things to say about Ja's situation.
So in assessing what discipline is appropriate, if that's the case, we look at both the history of prior acts, but then we look at the individual player's history as well. And so and the seriousness, of course, of the conduct. So those are all things that get factored. It's not an exact science. It comes down to judgment at the end of the day on the part of me and my colleagues in the league office. In terms of the timing, we've uncovered a fair amount of additional information. I think since I was still asked about the situation, I would say we probably could have brought it to a head now, but we made the decision, and I believe the Players Association agrees with us that it would be unfair to these players and these teams in the middle of the series to announce the results of that investigation. And given that we're, of course, in the off season, he has now been suspended by the Memphis Grizzlies indefinitely, and so nothing would have changed anyway in the next few weeks. It seemed better to park that at the moment, at least any public announcement. And my sense now is that shortly after the conclusion of the finals, we will announce the outcome of that investigation.
Adam Silver yesterday. Now, I know your friend of mine, Carmichael Dave, this morning was saying he thought that was kind of a misstep. And I understand what Dave is saying. Maybe it was, but I don't see it that way. To me, for the commissioner to address this at all during the finals, that suggests to me that he's giving people a heads up, like, look, we don't want to take the focus off the finals, but this could be big. And you don't want people to be just shocked, like, what? So to me, that's what he's suggesting. This could be a major, major penalty. Just want to enjoy the finals, but just keep that in mind.
Yeah, that's absolutely the take that I got from it. Was he specifically says, like, I didn't want to take away from the stories that are essentially being told in this finals. He doesn't want to take away from, Denver's shining moment of their first finals. And maybe if they win the finals, he doesn't want to take away from that narrative, because something tells me in 2, 3, 4 weeks from now, we're going to be sitting here having a lot of conversation about Ja Morant, because it sounds like that thing is going to be massive. Maybe, you can't even speculate, by the way, that Adam Silver is presenting it also. It could be a misstep in the sense of, well, if this ends up being 25 games or something, he's really prepping us for a 50, a 75, maybe a whole season worth of suspension here. Him saying that they've uncovered more.
Yeah.
Very, very alarming. That, especially with the situation already being what it is.
Remember, Chris, the league bent over backwards on his behalf before.
The first time, right.
We'll sweep this under the rug. Yeah, we'll have you sit down with Jalen Rose and we're good.
Right.
And then he kicked dirt on them.
He did that. Right. And the NBA is not going to be made look a fool. They really, really care about the marketability of their stars. And if Ja Morant has definitely thrown a wrench in that. And, I believe that the NBA wasn't going to be light on him. I thought it was going to be 30 to 40 games, but by the sound of it, and who knows if we eventually learn what the NBA has dug out, it's sounding like, again, it could be a really, really hefty suspension for something. And I'm really curious to find out what the other stuff they found out is. We see that, at least from all that we have seen from Ja Morant in this situation is a surface level of he's waving a gun. He has a gun, and there's nothing illegal about that, but obviously it's just the image of it. If the NBA has, as they said, found more into the situation, like, is there maybe some I don't really know how else to say it. Is there some stuff going on that's gang related, or is he setting things, I don't know, but it just makes your mind go into tons of different places. It just seems like this is a really, really bad situation.
Here's what I would do. And again, it's hard to say because, as you pointed out, they apparently have more information than we knew. I'm also wondering if maybe some of the new information is just other things that we knew before, but they said, yeah, never mind. And now they decided, well, we better look into that more closely.
Right, like that Indiana Pacers situation where
or the kid at his house.
Or the kid at his house.
Yeah.
Or the first time he waved the gun, or the second time he waved the gun.
Or with his mom at the mall.
Or with his mom at the mall.
Jeez. Right. So what I would do, based on what we know, is I would say indefinite suspension, which the team has already indefinitely suspended him.
And that's just the team also. That's not the league.
I would say the league, you are indefinitely suspended. We will review your case right after the holidays. At that point, we will evaluate whether we're in position to consider reinstating you. Now they could, and then if everything goes well, maybe at that point they say, okay, we're good. But if there are any other missteps or they have any reason to doubt his sincerity, they could say, no, we're looking at maybe the whole year.
Yeah.
Potentially.
I think the only reason they wouldn't do that, I think public perception at this point. I mean, now there's so many eyes on this case, not only in the basketball circle, but I think elsewhere as well. I think they have to throw a number out there. I don't think indefinite is good enough, because
indefinite, I'm talking about minimum of like 40.
Okay, see, if they give a minimum, then I think that's okay. And I'm okay with that as well. I'm okay with suspended until further notice. Absolutely. Because I think the situation that Ja has put himself in, again, it's like, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a second. You're not going to get a third chance.
You can't get fooled again.
Exactly. Can't get fooled again.
Yeah.
So there's just, I don't think that the NBA is going to be light on this, but I just hope that whatever it is, I hope that it is a more than it shouldn't even be fair. I don't think at this point the suspension should be fair. I think that it should be punishment for Ja Morant. I think at this point especially if, again, whatever they've uncovered, it feels to me like he needs to understand this will not fly.
I don't think counseling for stress management is the answer.
No.
At some point, someone's got to get in with them and like, what's going on? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this?
100 millionaire potentially here.
Yeah.
You're messing up a lot of things, and it's all for nothing. It's all for just looking cool or whatever his motivation is. It's very, I don't know. I hate talking about this, and I just hope that whatever the suspension is, I hope that it's
hard to be fair because it's hard to know what's going on, but we all recognize, wow, it shouldn't be like this. I wonder if the league also sees this as potentially a test case. Like, are there going to be other people that follow down the road in Ja's footsteps?
I mean,
what can we do now to limit the chances of that happening?
Right. And we've seen that before in other sports. The NFL with the Ray Rice situation kind of did a similar thing where it's like, we don't really care. This isn't even necessarily about this specific situation. It's more about also setting the precedent for the future and letting other guys know that this kind of activity will not fly in the NBA. It's just not going to work in a sport that, again, leans very heavily on the marketability of their stars.
I hope he's back. I hope he's back soon. Love watching him play. Get scared every time he leaps in the air because
I do too.
Yeah, but obviously something severe needs to be done here based on what we think we know anyway. Up next, what do you think, Chris? When an NFL coach says he has no anxiety over his quarterback situation, how much anxiety does he really have over his quarterback situation? We will dive into that next on Chris and Company, Sactown Sports.
The Kings season might be over, but Sactown sports coverage never stops.
It's probably one of the best starting points I could have had starting in the NBA, Sacramento.
Stay tuned all off-season to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
I suffered with plantar fasciitis for almost 20 years.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life.
If you suffer with plantar fasciitis, the search for pain relief can feel like an endless and hopeless ordeal.
I would try drugstore, insoles and supports.
I've been through surgeries, foot injections.
I was trying all different things. Not a single one worked.
If you think you've tried everything to relieve your foot pain, you probably haven't tried arch supports from the Good Feet store.
And then I was driving past the Good Feet store, and I thought, why not? Give it a try. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support for my feet. Then it was like, okay, this is different. These make a difference.
I don't have foot pain anymore. I'm so glad I'm at Good Feet. It changed my life.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Inflation has pushed up the cost of just about everything, which means if you bought life insurance a few years ago, it might not be enough to protect your family today. Now is the time to get the insurance you need at a price you can afford. In a hurry? Don't worry. Call Select Quote now and get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam. That's right. You can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam in under an hour.
Call Select Quote at 1-800-613-8990. That's 1-800-613-8990. Or go to SelectQuote.com now and get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam. That's 1-800-613-8990. Or go to SelectQuote.com now. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Hey guys, did you know June is Men's Health Month? Prioritize your health and address those issues you've been ignoring. Revive Men's Health Sacramento has guaranteed low T and ED solutions. Book your free exam and T-check today and save $199. And find out how you can get a free 1-month supply of custom ED medication. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit revivemenshealth.com today.
Listen to Oakland A's baseball on the weekends all season long right here on Sactown Sports, beginning with the pregame show brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
It's Thunder Valley's $20,000 20th anniversary cash giveaway. 5 winners on Friday and Saturday nights in June. One very lucky guest wins $20,000. Guaranteed. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. CalHope can help. Access CalHope's free and secure mental health resources. Call or text 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org.
There's a right way and a wrong way to fight off mosquitoes. Karate chopping the air in a public place in front of your kids and their friends, Mom, is the wrong way. Using STEM mosquito repellent is the right way. STEM effectively repels mosquitoes by harnessing active ingredients found in plants like lemongrass and peppermint, making it safe for use as directed around people and pets. STEM, rooted in nature, optimized by science, and embarrassment-free.
Introducing the new My Plan from Verizon. With My Plan, you pick only the perks you want and save on every one. So you get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. And today, get the amazing iPhone 14 Pro on us when you switch with Select Trade-In and Unlimited Plus. Get iPhone 14 Pro with My Plan at your Verizon store today. It's your Verizon. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line required. $200 Verizon e-gift card sent within 8 weeks with Ported. Less up to $800 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. 0% APR. Trading conditions and additional terms apply.
Sactown Sports
Headlines. I'm Chris Verlotta with your Sactown Sports Headlines. Last night, the Denver Nuggets beat the Miami Heat 104-93 in their first franchise NBA Finals game. Nikola Jokic also added his name to the record books. He joins Jason Kidd as the only other player to record a triple-double in his NBA Finals debut. He finished the night with 27 points, 10 rebounds, and 14 assists. Nuggets and Heat are off until Sunday for Game 2 in Denver. The Athletics' Shams Charania is reporting that the Suns and Frank Vogel are finalizing a 5-year, $31 million contract to become the new head coach. Vogel was previously the head of the Lakers, where he won an NBA championship. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Chris and Co. with Whitey and Watkins.
Quick update on our YouTube poll. Thanks for participating. The Kings going to sign a free agent. Well, you know, they may sign a free agent from a basketball movie. Which way should they go? You've got Jesus Shuttlesworth. He got game 52%. Scott Howard, Teen Wolf at 24%. Others, 17% with some great answers, including Bo Cruz. Juancho Hernan Gomez in the, what was that, Adam Sandler movie?
Hustle.
Thank you.
Yes.
And Lewis Scott, Celtic Pride, at 7%. And that's
Man, like if Harrison Barnes is gone this season, Lewis Scott would fit in perfectly with this Kings team.
Christopher Laud, our movie expert, that was the first name that he came up with, right?
It was.
I didn't even have to think about
Lewis
it.
Scott, frankly, I was like, what? And he's not doing as
You
well.
know, a while back, I did a thing on the 10 greatest fictional characters of all time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Lewis Scott made top 5.
Wow, not even basketball players.
Yes.
Characters of all time?
Yes.
Huh.
I just want to say that this movie,
And I wasn't going by like best movie. I wasn't going by any. It was just specifically how good this athlete is.
I've never seen Celtic Pride. Is this something that I should watch? I ask because I'm looking at the Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Oh yeah, it's one of those movies where the Sacramento Bee is like the quote on the DVD cover.
Really?
Yeah.
Gotcha. It's got an 8% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's better than 8%. It is. It truly is one of my favorite movies. Not funny. I won't say that. It's one of my favorite
8%?
basketball comedy movies.
8%. 5.3 out of 10 on IMDb.
It's a Judd Apatow movie.
Is it really?
It is.
You've got my interest.
By the way, as far as Juancho Hernan Gomez goes, he was waived by the Raptors in February after Toronto signed Will Barton. So I think he may have gone to play overseas. He may actually be available is the thing.
Yikes.
We're not saying that he's going to be high on the Kings list either way.
I like him. I like him as a Bo Cruz. I like Wancho. He's 6'9", and in the movie, if you watch Bo Cruz, you're like, how is this guy? That's the one thing that I definitely realized from watching Hustle. Player. I was like, these basketball players, even the bad ones, are incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Like even the quote unquote bad. Like Brian Scalabrine always makes the joke like he'll beat anybody in one-on-one. It doesn't matter. That is so true. Like even the skill level to be the 13th guy off the bench is better than any person you've ever seen play basketball ever. And that is always lost on me every time I see like a basketball player out in the wild, maybe playing 21 or something like that.
For the most part, even to be like a Division II player, you got to be a phenomenal basketball player.
No, absolutely.
There's Division III even. Yeah.
I think there used to be a stat I remember growing up. It was like the craziest stat I always I used to reference was if you were born, obviously not born 7 feet tall, but if you were a 7-footer, you had a 50% chance of playing at least one NCAA basketball game. And then I think it was like 30% of all people who were 7 feet tall made the NBA. Just by being 7 feet tall, you had a 30% chance of being an NBA player. I was just like, wow, that's incredible.
I bet you it's not that high anymore.
Probably not. No, probably not. 7-footers are, it's not really quite the commodity it used to be.
As you probably know, the Hernan Gomez family, they're like all of them are, and there's more than just the two brothers, I think. There's a
Is there really?
I think there's a whole bunch of them. They're like,
there's a whole litter of
Hernan
Gomez.
So I guess it's like, well, you better be a pro basketball player. Yeah.
Right. He does have a brother, right?
Your brother's a pro. What's wrong with you?
It's got to be tough. It's got to be a tough lifestyle living, having siblings as athletes. No thanks. Like, how does Cooper feel? I know Cooper's Arch is now going to be at Texas next year as the #1 football recruit. But
Cooper's a big comedy TV star.
Is he really?
Well, he was on that College Bowl with his brother, and he's in those.
Oh, I did see that. That was
Caesars
so strange.
Commercials with his brothers.
He is, yeah. He's getting some good checks for just being somebody's brother.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind. And then the Jokic brothers
right?
will be soon. Yeah, he was the receiver, right?
Anyway, Jesus Shuttlesworth at this point getting
washing
the
the competition.
Yeah, as he should. Switching over again, once again to the NFL, we mentioned there's a coach who says he's feeling no anxiety over the quarterback situation. That, of course, would be Josh McDaniels and the Raiders QB situation. I have no anxiety. You guys may have anxiety. I have no anxiety.
Says the guy with anxiety.
I know, exactly. I'm not going to put a timeline or a day on anything. The situation. Raiders signed Jimmy Garoppolo. He failed a physical. They reworked his contract a little bit because apparently it looks like they're not sure he's going to be able to play. They hope he can play. They're not really sure. So Josh McDaniel says, I have no anxiety. I don't worry about the things I can't control.
I would have a little bit of anxiety if my starting quarterback is potentially not going to be on the roster when we just at all. He's not going to be on the roster. That would cause me a lot of anxiety if your backup options are what they are. I know they have a rookie and I think somebody else that can maybe step in for quarterback if this situation doesn't work out. But
they have Brian Hoyer.
Brian Hoyer, yes, that's what it is. Brian Hoyer. And a rookie O'Connell, if I'm not
that's
mistaken.
Right.
Yeah. Aiden O'Connell. That's what it is. Out of Purdue. So,
and let's see, return second-year player Chase Garbers. So that's probably why he's not worried.
Yeah, right. You got all those
Nothing
studs.
Those guys.
No, you got those studs behind you. And Brian Hoyer's only playing because he's got the Patriot relationship. And how old is Brian Hoyer at this point? He's got to be pushing 40, right?
I don't have his age here, but I can tell you he's entering his. How many seasons do you think this will be for him? This will be his season.
15th?
That's exactly right.
Is it really?
Bingo.
Cool.
This will be Brian Hoyer's
awesome.
15th season.
Good for you, Brian.
Yeah,
absolutely getting
that
those
is
checks.
Great, huh?
37 years old, Brian Hoyer.
Wow.
How many games do you think Brian Hoyer has started in his NFL career?
He was a starter when Johnny Manziel was there in Cleveland. He was a starter with San Francisco for a while. So I was like, I don't know.
I'll let you know he's played 76 career games.
21 starts.
40. 40 career starts. He started 13 of 14 games in Cleveland, as you mentioned. Johnny Manziel started 9 games for Houston the following season. And then split time as the Chicago Bears starting quarterback the season after that, as well as San Francisco started 6 games, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and he was eventually replaced, I think, by the crash test dummy. Right?
Who is that? Who is referred to as the crash test dummy? Please,
Chris Beathard.
Oh, yes.
Beathard.
Yes. Yeah, I think it was CJ Beathard.
CJ Beathard, yeah.
Yeah, CJ Beathard.
CJ Beathard, yeah.
Ugh, yeah, that was a tough season for the Niners. What was that? 2017.
Here's the deal with Jimmy, as you may know. The Raiders hope he's available to start a training camp as he continues to rehab the injured left foot. They did rework his deal, so it looks like they did that so that they can let's see. It looks like they could part ways with him should he not be able to pass a physical before the season starts.
Right.
So, wow, there's a question as to whether he will. McDaniel says, I have very good information that tells me that we're going to be fine. You know what I mean?
No. No, I don't.
So, again, nothing has happened that would have changed that. So that's why I feel this way.
Well, from what I understand, too, it's in his foot, right? It's Jimmy Garoppolo's foot that they're concerned is going to be hurt. And
yeah, because you got the 49ers. They were fearing that you're going to need surgery.
Right.
It's a Liz Frank injury. Then they determined, no, you're good. You don't need the surgery. Then it turns out, he needs the surgery.
Turns out he needs the surgery. I would be concerned. I would definitely be concerned if I were and I've heard tons and tons and tons of people say after the initial reporting of this that there's nothing to worry about. These injury clauses are always put in. It's put in 70% of contracts. You'll always see it. I have a lot of, kind of like what I just laid out with Brock Purdy. I just have a tough time believing that coming off of surgery, and I just don't think that that's the ideal situation that you want to bring Jimmy Garoppolo into, especially when there's already questions about him as a healthy quarterback. If you're going to be bringing him in as somebody who's not able to really be mobile at all and, have all of the limitations that Jimmy Garoppolo already brings, it's just not a good sign for the Raiders team that already was fighting an uphill battle.
By the way, my apologies to CJ Beathard. I called him Chris. Do you know what CJ stands for? And we got so many Chris's here.
Charles Johnson Beathard.
Casey Jarrett Beathard.
Doesn't fit.
CJ works, though.
Yeah, CJ works. I like CJ.
Jimmy Garoppolo, $11.25 million signing bonus was converted into base salary, giving him a total $22.5 base salary for 2023.
Right.
So that would lend credence to the notion that the Raiders can just part ways with him should he not be able to pass a physical before the season begins. But they feel like, he's going to be good to go.
I mean, that's just a nightmare, though.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would put yourself in that situation. Like, I think right now I would be trying every possible route.
Because he knows my system. My system's great. I'm Josh McDaniels. He knows my system. Lawyer knows my system. We're fine.
Not fine.
My system's that good.
Not fine. If I were the Raiders, if I were a Raider fan right now, and I know there's not much hope for this Raider season, there's always maybe they can go 500 this year or something like that. But
I saw something that said Jameis might be in play if they need a quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I would start looking everywhere I could. Not Jameis Winston, maybe like who are some of the best backups? Gardner Minshew. Maybe you look at who's the guy in Houston that just got replaced with who's been their quarterback the past couple of years. Long neck boy, Davis Mills.
Sure.
Maybe you look at I don't know. I would be looking. Sam Darnold, right? He throws a beautiful football, I hear. So if I were the Raiders, I would be looking at other options immediately.
I hope it works out because honestly, I think I'm in the minority. I like Jimmy, and I actually think if he's healthy, he's a good quarterback.
I think he's good. I think he is good. I would not say anything better than good. I would maybe sometimes say something worse than good, but I think for the most part, Jimmy Garoppolo is a very solid quarterback. I just don't think he's going to elevate anything happening there in Las Vegas.
Meanwhile, if anybody deserves a better nickname than the Joker, I think we know who it is, right? That's next. Chris and Company, Sactown Sports.
He's Cattles and Rami.
For me, what Jaylen Brown is, he's not a name. I would argue
he's a Robin,
down.
not a Batman.
He's a Robin. Yeah. He is definitely. He's a heck of a Robin. He's a top 5 Robin in the league. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sending Robin out to take out the best villain, you know.
No, you need Batman.
Mr. Freeze.
You need Batman to get the Joker, right?
Absolutely.
You might send Robin after Scarecrow or
There
something.
you go.
You know what I mean?
Come on now. You're speaking on it.
So is Scarecrow Michael Porter Jr. in this scenario?
Cattles and Rami, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates. It's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Quick Quack Car Wash is excited to announce Ceramic Duck, the stronger, shinier, luckier car wash experience that can only be found at Quick Quack. Their new Ceramic Duck Car Wash provides unparalleled protection from dirt, grime, rain, and UV rays while giving your car a noticeably deeper shine and smoother finish. With consistent use, you'll build a shine that will have you looking spectacular for days. Try the premium wash at 50% off by texting DUCK to 41284. So come on, experience Ceramic Duck today. You and your car will be glad you did.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman. 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. CalHope can help. Access CalHope's free and secure mental health resources today. Call 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Happy Friday! Friday! Here's your Friday siren.
It was a good one. I needed it.
Get out and have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Whitey Gleason, Chris Watkins, Chris Vaughn, thanks for being with us. You mentioned earlier we have a new coaching hiring in the NBA with Frank Vogel going to Phoenix. So we talked about who's who now and how it looks like Toronto's the only team without a head coach. Jordy Fernandez, a candidate there, but it could be Steve Nash. What we didn't mention when we went over all that was that there are indications out of Boston that Joe Mazzulla stays.
Right. That was a big potential opening there. Obviously, Boston being the franchise that they are, that would have been a massive opening at head coach and something I assume everybody would have thrown their hat into. Pretty big news because Joe Mazzulla was somebody who was probably on the hot seat all year long. I think he got a pretty unfair shake of things with how that whole offseason, ended up panning out with, the Ime Udoka situation and then Will Hardy leaving as well. I felt like, he was kind of getting unfairly criticized throughout the year because I don't think people fully understand how helpful it is to have a really experienced coaching bench. And he just didn't have any of that. And I know he didn't make a lot of adjustments throughout the years. There was a lot of questions on his timeout patterns. A lot of people felt like, he did a really bad job just managing the team in general. I think in year one, if you take Eastern Conference Finals series to 7 games, I think you probably deserve to at least get another crack at it, at least for 1 year.
I think any coach is going to learn from their mistakes.
Right.
So first year coach, they weren't perfect.
He's also 34 years old.
Right. The thing to me that would drive me crazy if I were a Boston fan, last year, not this just completed season. The year before, they struggled in the half court at times. We saw it against Miami in the conference finals, saw it in the finals against the Warriors. They struggled in the half court because Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, they're not really creators, and they would have the ball in their hands so much, and the bad turnovers, right? So last year, I think you could make the case they probably should have won the finals last year. They didn't. Fair enough. Warriors, tip of the cap. But coming off of that, what'd they do about that? They got Malcolm Brogdon, and they brought in Danilo Gallinari, who unfortunately was hurt. So they didn't really address the situation. Did you think this year in the series against Miami and in the series against Philadelphia that sometimes in the half court they turned the ball over too much?
Yes.
And so they didn't do anything. That's not Joe Mazzulla's fault.
No, that is not.
How you had a whole year to address that and you didn't, and it cost you dearly.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I don't understand.
Even in last year's finals, the thing that they needed the most was just a ball mover, a guy who could set up the offense and run things
your
for them.
offense in the half court.
Absolutely.
With all that talent.
Really simple. It's all they needed. And they brought in Malcolm Brogdon, who helped with that a little bit, but by no means is a point guard. I think Malcolm Brogdon is way more of a two guard. And even then, the system that they ran, and I guess you could put some blame on Joe Mazzulla for this, but they just didn't. They weren't a motion offense. Again, I keep saying, like, we were spoiled here in Sacramento to see the Kings run the offense they did, and that's not typical of many teams. A lot of teams run a lot of heavy isolation, a lot of pick and roll offense is really, especially come playoff time, the main thing that people like to do. It's just not how that Celtics team should have operated. They had so many weapons. They had Derek White, Malcolm Brogdon, even Marcus Smart capable of making shots, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Al Horford even is capable of knocking down some shots. There was just not enough time when they were moving the ball around. It was way too much isolation, way too much Jason Tatum save us. And I think, that's part of the fair criticism of Jason Tatum, but it's also just the offensive system in general. It just never felt like the team, they didn't have a thing. Like what was the Boston Celtics ultimate thing that they were great at that they could exploit over everyone else? I would say their shooting, but once that went away, it was just all Jason Tatum, please save us. And at the end of the day, I think that game 7 might have shaken out a little differently if Jason Tatum doesn't twist his ankle, but Tatum saved him so many times that at some point you had to figure the luck was going to run out.
The other weird thing about that team is, and this goes back to last season as well, when they weren't expected to do well, they were great. When everyone looked at them and said, this is a game you should win, they were terrible. Go back to last year, the finals, game 1 in San Francisco. They won. They crushed the Warriors in the first game.
Yeah.
And they had a lead in that series, and they're up 2-1 at home. They have the lead in the fourth quarter, about to take a 3-1 lead, and they didn't win it.
Completely pooed the bed.
Yes, and they were worse this year in terms of, all right, they're down 3-0. They're finished. Well, here they come.
Right.
Well, they got game 7 at home. Now they got it. Total egg-laying.
Right.
Was what followed.
Well, and then even that Philly series, take it the series before that, found themselves down 3-2 for no reason. James Harden had 2 40-point games in that series. And then what they eventually needed to survive was Jason Tatum going ballistic in the fourth quarter of game 6. And then game 7, Jason Tatum had to drop 51 points in order for them to get that win.
That wasn't Mazzulla's fault. I'm sure a coach can help with that.
Right.
But those problems predated his involvement there. And at this point, I think keeping him around makes sense as long as you address the actual issues.
Right, exactly. I don't know if you can't go into next year and completely blow everything up and then expect to find success. You have to keep some level of continuity, but at the same time, like you're saying, they need to address the actual problem at hand. It'd be like if the Sacramento Kings just continue to not get a backup center. It's like, guys, this is a problem that we have to figure out, and we're not going to reach the next level until we fix this very major gap in our game. And the Celtics have enough talent to go acquire that guy via trade. They have their mid-level exception. There's ways of going to attain that guy. They just have to go get him and get the right one.
I've been thinking it's a point guard. I don't know if it's a point guard. It's someone that they have to be able to run the offense through. For example,
that's the thing.
Yeah, Denver, they don't really have a true point guard they rely on, but they don't have a problem with that, do they?
No.
Because Jokic, they don't have a problem, do they? Jokic is so phenomenal. Watching the game last night, seeing kids there with Joker hats and people made up like
people
the
had
Joker.
full face paint.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, oh my God.
And he's such a good player, Nikola Jokic. To me, he deserves a nickname better than the Joker, which they call him just because his name's Jokic.
Right. That's
It's
the only correlation, right? I like
Yeah.
kind of tried to connect some dots there. Like he's funny. He is like, a goofy looking guy and does like have a lighthearted spirit. But besides that, it doesn't make
Djokovic
sense.
also called the Joker?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Actually.
Why?
Yeah.
Because his name starts with a J.
Djokovic. Yeah. Djokovic.
Oh,
yeah.
Really? He deserves better.
That'd be like if we called Peja that, right? Like Peja Stoyakov. Well, I guess that wouldn't be Joker. It doesn't quite work out. Yeah. Stokes or something.
Yeah, so it's kind of lazy.
Doesn't quite work. I
And
guess
it's just a guy who's that great deserves a more descriptive nickname. I don't know what it is.
How about like the Serbian sensation or something like that?
Sure, it's
Whatever.
something. Yeah. Last night I was thinking he's like, and I'm not saying this should be his nickname. It's not a great nickname, but he's like a maestro. He's like conducting a symphony. The way he passes the ball.
What's the orchestrator? I guess.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
the
think.
Joker. And then at one point they showed some fan there, like you said.
Yeah.
Like
Heath
full
Ledger's
decked
Joker.
out. My
Yeah.
wife was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, that's kind of creepy."
It's kind of creepy. Yeah, I don't want to be leaving the game and then turn down the wrong alleyway and see him at the other end of the street. What are some of the good nicknames that have came from current players though? Like they kind of don't make nicknames like they used to.
No,
like,
and maybe that's good,
Dr. J and
Right.
the Iceman and
Yeah.
even Larry Legend's great. Magic, and it's I know that's like from birth, but there really isn't many. Like even Tim Duncan, the great fundamental, at least fits. That's not a great one.
I think it started
I don't know.
Michael Jordan was like Air Jordan, but then basically he's like MJ.
Right.
And it kind of started with him.
Right. And like even Kevin Durant, obviously KD, but like Durantula. The Slim Reaper is good. I really like the Slim Reaper.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Steph doesn't really have Babyface Assassin is pretty decent.
I think part of it, and maybe this is good, really. It was a time when, everything was the writers, the newspaper writers.
Sure,
et cetera.
right.
They give the nicknames.
Yeah.
And players is like, that's your nickname. Too bad. And now with social media, players can go, I hate
it.
Don't
And then it
call
shuts
me
it
that.
down. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, huh? Because they just have a lot more say in how all that goes.
Which I don't blame them. They shouldn't be stuck with stupid nicknames.
Well, but then we're stuck with Shaq
Joker.
saying what did he call Sabonis, the Lithuanian lasagna or something like that. He called Sabonis Lithuanian lasagna, which is terrible. Like this is the problem is we can't have, I don't know, we
can't have good nicknames
We
anymore.
need that to be somebody's job is to come up with nicknames. This is what we need. We need like a governing body over sports that is in charge of these
Chris
things.
Paul, not a popular in all corners, but the point guard.
Point Guard's
a pretty
great.
Good nickname.
Point Guard is great, and it's very fitting for him too. That's a really good one. But even then, like that's not his main, like his mainstream nickname, to your point, is just CP3.
Yeah.
And it just feels like we've gotten really lazy with the nicknames with CP3, KD, LBJ even is AD. Like it's just the unibrow should be what we call Anthony Davis until he shaves that thing off. I don't know. You've unlocked something here in me. I'm going to try and figure this out.
Okay.
This is going to be my new life work.
I understand, and he's going to be called the Joker the rest of his career. I know that. I understand that. I get it. I just think a guy that unique deserves a better nickname. I hope someday he gets one.
Let me look at Basketball Reference. Maybe Basketball Reference has something, because you know how they always have.
You want to know the best nickname ever in sports? There was a guy, and I know we got to take a time out here real quick. There was an outfielder like in the 18-somethings, and he used to catch everything, and his name was Bob Ferguson, I think, and his nickname was Death to Flying Things. Isn't that great? Because he caught everything. You don't like that?
I don't like that. It's a little mouthy. It's a little wordy.
It's very literate. Here's Death to Flying Things, Ferguson.
According to Basketball Reference, some other Nikola Jokic nicknames: Joker, Big Honey, Cookie Monster, Yoki, obviously, and then Big Tipper. Big Tipper.
All right.
Not sure about that one.
Yeah.
Not sure about
needs
that.
work.
Needs work.
Yeah.
Definitely needs work.
All of a sudden, Joker doesn't
sound so bad.
Up next, the game one number that leaps off the box score, what it means for the rest of the NBA Finals. Next, Chris and Co., Sactown Sports.
The 49ers 2023 schedule is out and filled with big matchups.
The 49ers start the season with a Week 1 showdown in Pittsburgh.
At home in Week 5 against the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football.
And a Week 13 NFC Championship game rematch with the Eagles.
Plus, get every 49ers game this season on Sactown Sports. Visit SactownSports.com for the latest team news and a full schedule breakdown.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
My father was a career United States Air Force pilot, and Memorial Day is a reminder of all he and so many others did for our country. Hi, this is Franklin Rosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now at the annual Memorial Day sale, everything in the store is on sale. Everything from living rooms to sofas to sectionals to dining rooms to home offices and so much more. And while you're there at Naturewood Home Furnishings, don't miss the parking lot clearance featuring drastically reduced closeouts, floor samples, and discontinued items now up to 50% off and more. Right now at the Naturewood Memorial Day sale, you can save in the store and in the parking lot. Whether you're looking to lighten the mood in your living room, brighten up your bedroom, or tighten up your home office, it's all available for you at Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Pain is not normal. Repeat, pain is not normal. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here with the Good Feet store. Does this sound familiar? It's the end of the workday and the pain in your feet, knees, hips, or back is unrelenting. Good Feet understands that you've likely already tried assorted remedies and solutions with no relief. And now you're pretty much resigned to living with the pain. But do not give in to the pain. Instead, come to the Good Feet store for their end-to-end 3-step arch support system. Good Feet is the nation's largest manufacturer and retailer of personalized arch supports. With arch supports in over 300 sizes, styles, and flexibilities, and an arch support specialist in each store. Come in today for a free, no-obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk around the store or around the center. Experience the comfort, balance, and support possible with the Good Feet system. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now in Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Hey guys, did you know June is Men's Health Month? It's time to address those issues you've been ignoring. Tired? Not feeling like your old self? Lacking drive? Revive Men's Health can improve your quality of life for common issues like low testosterone or ED. Why live with it when you can improve it? And Men's Health Month is the perfect time to take charge of your health. To learn about the real-world benefits of testosterone or ED treatment, book your free exam and T-level check today at Revive Sacramento. And for Men's Health Month, ask how you can get a free 30-day supply of custom ED medication if you're medically qualified. They make it easy, convenient, and they have a 99% patient satisfaction rate. So save $199 with a free exam. And don't forget to ask how you can get a free 30-day supply of custom ED medication. Don't wait. Do it today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlato with your Sactown Sports headlines. Last night, the Denver Nuggets beat the Miami Heat 104-93 in their first franchise NBA Finals game. Nikola Jokic also added his name to the record books. He joins Jason Kidd as the only other player to record a triple-double in his NBA Finals debut. He finished the night with 27 points, 10 rebounds, and 14 assists. Nuggets and Heat are off until Sunday for Game 2. in Denver. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Chris and company with Whitey and Watkins.
Let's get back to the YouTube chat real quick here. I just think that Nikola Jokic deserves a better nickname than the Joker. He's called Joker because his name is Jokic. Someone pointed out on the YouTube chat, he is funny, and I get that. But it's like he's just such a unique player.
Yeah.
I would like to see him end up with a better nickname. I don't think it's ever going to happen, though. We have Brian says on the YouTube chat, Joker is a dope name, though. And we have Big E. He's called Joker because he's out here killing other teams, Batmans and Robins. And IPH says that's legitimately awful. So,
I actually like that's the best excuse that I've heard for calling him Joker. I really like that. Killing other teams.
YouTube chat of the day nominee.
I think that's my YouTube chat of the day nominee right there by Big E. I really, really like that. That actually makes sense too. It's clever. That makes it more clever than what it actually is.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I'm pushing that narrative from here on out. I really like that.
Does that work for you, Christopher Lott?
Yeah, that's fine. But I'd like to go back on baseball.
That's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Baseball nicknames. I think the best baseball nickname as a player right now, Juan Soto, Childish Bambino.
Ooh, that's decent.
Do you like Death to Flying Things, Ferguson?
I do not.
It's way too wordy.
I know when this was way back when people
They had to kill time, Chris.
I guess, yeah. And fly ball to left center field. Caught is death to all things that fly. Ferguson.
That sounds like things Ferguson puts it away.
That sounds like something that was like translated into English.
Yes.
People appreciated the English language then more maybe than they do now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, my dad's chiming in. Skywalker for David Thompson.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that's a great one. That is a really, really good one. That's yeah. I if I had to give my best nickname, I've always liked the Big Hurt. I don't know why the Frank Thomas nickname, the Big Hurt, just makes sense. I mean, he's a massive. This is the second straight day we've talked about Frank Thomas. Mentioned Frank Thomas on the show.
Still swinging on if he says something about how my wife's going to like this.
She's going to enjoy it too.
Huh? She'll like it too.
She'll like it. I guarantee it.
Wilt Chamberlain was like a Paul Bunyan of basketball. He had terrible nicknames. The Big Dipper.
Yeah, the Big Dipper's
and
terrible.
Wilt the Stilt.
Wilt the Stilt also terrible. Sounds like a circus show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not good. What was Bill Russell? Bill Russell had one, didn't he? Probably the Great, to assume.
I don't know. I'm sure something may be on there in Basketball Reference. Kareem eventually became, the captain.
Right. Which I don't love.
He wasn't that until very late in his career.
Yeah, Bill Russell has some terrible ones. Russ, Whiskers, Willie, Bill the Hill, the Stuffer.
The Stuffer. Yeah.
Those are all terrible. Those are all
extra
extra
winner.
terrible.
That's what he was.
The GOAT.
He won.
How about that? How about the GOAT?
Is there any chance that Miami's going to find a way to at least, if not win, make this series competitive? The Miami Heat. Come on. They got the vibe, as Christopher Lon says.
Yeah, that's it.
The greatest coach in the NBA.
They got the greatest coach in the NBA.
Jimmy buckets. They got all these undrafted guys who don't care what you think of them.
Again, I think that they can maybe be competitive in some games.
The greatest 8 seed in NBA playoff history.
I just don't see it.
They took down the Bucks. They took down the Celtics.
I just don't see it.
You don't see it?
I cannot picture it. I can maybe again see them stealing a game, hitting tons of threes. Maybe Tyler Herro's comeback is massive and knocks down 5 threes. Duncan Robinson knocks down a couple. Max Strus knocks down a couple. That's the only pathway I see to them winning even one game. And I cannot see this series being competitive.
The thing too is I think that Denver would be doing this at any Eastern Conference team.
Yes. It's not even disrespectful to Miami. It's just like nobody except for Philadelphia would have any answer for Nikola Jokic. And that's only because they have Joel Embiid. Nobody else, like even if you put Giannis on Joker, he's going to be able to outmuscle him.
I found myself last night wishing that, really wish Denver was playing Milwaukee.
It would have been so fun.
Yeah.
I think from like 2 team perspectives, that would have been a great battle. Drew Holiday going against Jamal Murray, seeing how that defense would have worked out. Chris Middleton, if healthy, going against Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon. And then the Giannis of it all would have been incredible as well. Maybe they also some Brook Lopez on Jokic that you could argue that's a good path to go. That to me, I'm going to look back on this.
Grayson Allen fan.
Huge Grayson Allen fan. Love tripping left and right. It would have been great to maybe that would have saved Coach Budenholzer's job also, but that's why he's sitting with you and me.
Yeah. Well, you look at the box score. I think just about any time, if you care about box scores at all, I know most people don't, which is great. But if you care about NBA box scores at all, if you just look, virtually every box score from every game, you're going to find at least one number that just jumps off the page and makes you go, wait, what? At least one. It could be something a player did or a team total. Last night, clearly the number that jumps off the page, Miami Heat free throws, 2. Free throws attempted, 2. What an NBA Finals record. 2 free throws
really?
attempted.
Wow. Not surprising,
I think the previous record was 3.
It makes sense. I mean, Miami, again, they weren't really attacking the rim the way they should have. I thought there was a couple calls that maybe could have gone their way, but we saw it earlier in the playoffs as well in the Warriors-Lakers series. The Warriors had a game where they finished with something, I mean, I think it was 2 or 4 free throws or something like that.
Attempts,
That makes a lot more sense.
Small team, again, another small team.
And that's where it comes to me to the fact that Miami settled a lot for a lot of mid-range jump shots. We talked yesterday about how the Nuggets would defend the pick and roll. They decided to take your advice, and they had Jokic completely backed off into the paint. They said, look, go ahead. You want to take threes? You want to take that mid-range jumper that's available in that little space right after the screen? Be our guest. They just didn't hit enough, and you're not going to get foul calls when you're taking jump shots. You're just not going to do it.
If you told me before the game that Miami was going to shoot 2 free throws, I would have said, okay, they're probably shooting at least 53.
Right.
They shot 39.
Yeah,
they only made 13.
Yeah, that's also the problem is they just didn't hit enough either.
Jimmy Butler's got to take the ball to the basket more. That would be the one thing I would expect in the next game.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler last night had 13 points on 6 of 14 shooting. He's got to take the ball to the basket.
He does. He's got to take it to the basket. He's just got to look for his shot more in general. I think I'm okay if I'm Miami and he's taking 30 shots a game or near 30 shots a game. I'm just living to you. Again, you have to get some sort of star production out of somebody if you're going to keep up offensively with this Denver team. It's just too tough.
Yeah. Poor Miami. They got 18 out of Haywood Highsmith.
I know. Who is Haywood Highsmith? He came in to that Celtics series and I was like, all right, like I watch a lot of basketball. Like I pay attention. I could tell you some people on the Hornets, but Haywood Highsmith is getting he's averaging 18 points per game right now in his NBA Finals career.
Come on. He's a good player.
He is. No, he's a great player. He's a great offensive player for sure. I don't understand why the first time I'm hearing about him is the Eastern Conference Finals.
The great thing about Haywood Highsmith is you're not playing for a while. Okay. And then, all right, you're playing 23 minutes, game 1 of the finals. All right.
Okay.
Here's 18 points.
Here's 18 points for you. Absolutely. Yeah. And again, this is the fear with Miami as well, is that they got production out of some guys that you're not going to get 26 out of Bam again. You're not going to get 18 points out of Haywood Highsmith again. I don't know if you're going to get Kyle Lowry to hit the amount of threes that he hit yesterday as well. I can't. I'm going to continue to say it, and I will say it until I'm blue in the face or until I got egg on my face. I cannot see the Miami Heat contesting this series.
I think the only way they do is in the next game, they got to take the ball to the basket, and I think they got to get a little chippy.
They also got to hope that Denver starts missing shots, too.
Yeah.
I think Denver's going to have to play a part in any Miami
made 8 threes. They shot, you're right, they shot 51%, but only 8 of 27 from the arc.
Yeah, and Michael Porter Jr. had just a poor shooting night in general. I could see him hitting a couple more shots. Again, KCP didn't get involved much at all last night. I think that there's still another level for Denver to go. I think that was a little bit of Denver in a feeling out process, and by the looks of things, I think Denver's feeling pretty comfortable moving forward.
How do you like this YouTube chat comment? Because you got your favorite already, right?
I did. Yes.
Willie Bowen says Bam is going to be spam guarding Jokic.
I like Spam.
Okay.
Spam Masubi. Excellent. 10 out of 10 treat. Love it.
I liked it. Okay, Willie. That's all right.
Bam to Spam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guarding Jokic, Bam's going to be spam.
That tickles
Friday.
It's Friday.
It's like,
all
right,
fine.
I'm gonna roll with it.
We're all mailing it in.
Up next, the lesson in team building that the Nuggets and Heat provide what it means for the Kings. And also, this is going to be a busy month for Kings fans. That's next. Coming right back with it on Chris & Co. Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports is Sacramento's new home for the San Francisco 49ers.
It feels awesome. We deserve this. Let's go, Niners!
Purdy
Purdy going to throw, and it is Kittle in the back of the end zone.
Samuel.
Debo 10. Debo. Touchdown!
And McCaffrey.
Touchdown! CMC!
They all live here on Sactown Sports.
Your official home for 49ers football.
There's a right way and a wrong way to fight off mosquitoes. Karate chopping the air, in a public place, in front of your kids and their friends, is the wrong way. Using STEM mosquito repellent is the right way. STEM effectively repels mosquitoes by harnessing active ingredients found in plants like lemongrass and peppermint, making it safe for use as directed around people and pets. STEM, rooted in nature, optimized by science, and embarrassment-free.
Introducing the new My Plan from Verizon. With My Plan, you pick only the perks you want and save on every one. So you get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. And today, get the amazing iPhone 14 Pro on us when you switch with Select Trade-In and Unlimited Plus. Get iPhone 14 Pro with My Plan at your Verizon store today. It's your Verizon. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line required. $200 Verizon e-gift card sent within 8 weeks with ported. Less up to $800 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. 0% APR. Trading conditions and additional terms apply.
Sitting at your desk, watch Chris & Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Speaking of nicknames, Whitey Gleason, Chris Watkins, do you have a nickname? Anybody ever give you one that stuck at all?
I had one as a kid. I mean, it sticks, but since I played sports every season growing up, there was always another Chris on the team, so I had to figure out, and obviously we run into the same dilemma here. It actually hasn't caught on here. C-Watt, like my entire life. My friends call me C-Watt. My dad, C-Watt. Yeah,
There's a couple people calling you C-Dub here.
C-Dub. Yeah, that's a couple people for sure. Yeah, that one I've never been called before. C-Watt has always been the one that I went to. I just don't publicize it. I don't really know why. I mean, it's like my email is CWatt at whatever. Yeah, that's really it. Nothing too clever. I'm trying to think, even in football, if there was never really got many nicknames. I don't know. Not really a nickname guy.
Talking about nicknames, because I think that the Joker deserves a better nickname because he's so unique, but he's going to be the Joker, and that's just the way it's going to be. I guess.
What's the story of your nickname?
Well,
I'm trying to think if I've heard it before. I feel like
real
I've
quick.
heard it before.
Yeah, you probably have. Real quick, because people do ask. People wonder about this a lot. When I started out on the radio, I was a producer at a station in San Francisco, and they said, "Okay, we're going to put you on the radio starting Monday. You're going to be doing sports, and you can do your goofy little stuff." I was like, "Oh, great!" And they said, "Your name is going to be Stretch Bergmeyer." And I said,
"Seriously?"
Yes. And I said, "No, it's not." I'd never been on the radio, so
had you ever been called? Like,
no,
what was
somebody's idea of this will be great if you're doing sports and your name will be Stretch Bergmeyer. So it had nothing to do with me.
Bergmeyer.
Yeah. And I was like, no. And they said, "Well, what are you going to be called then?" And when I was really little, I had really, 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 really blonde hair. And my brother used to call me Whitey. Like, hey,
yes.
Yeah. Right. And so I said, Whitey Gleason. And they said, "Oh, okay, that's fine." Because at least that was something. It's not my real name, but it was something that people really called me.
Sure.
Where Stretch Bergmeyer was like,
that's
what?
Neither of those words make any sense. I mean,
yeah,
like you're not super tall. You're not 6'4" or anything with long wingspan. And then Bergmeyer is just a word.
It's not close to my name.
Did they end up using that name for somebody else?
I don't know. That's a good question. Not that I know of. I never thought.
I'm just thinking about that. Yeah. Like, I mean, I got a great name here. He's not using it. We're gonna have to give it to somebody.
I just don't even know where does that even come? Like Bergmeyer is not. It's not Robinson. It's not Johnson.
I know. That was one of my things. Like, wait, what?
It sounds like a joke. Like it sounds like something someone would tell you. Just like,
my first radio job, and it was in a big market, but my first radio job, I did sports as Whitey Gleason, and then I also had to do traffic. And they said, well, you're a different person for that. I'm like, wait,
what?
And they said, yeah. Do I change my voice? No, just kind of do a monotone. You'll be on the phone. Well, what's my name for that? What's your middle name? Michael. All right, you're Mike. And what's your mother's maiden name? Lundberg. And they said, okay, you're Officer Mike Lundberg.
Really?
Yeah. I was officer, but I was.
Is that how it works?
I had no legal affiliation, but they would go, now here's Officer Mike Lundberg.
It's your middle name and your mother's maiden name?
Yes. Yeah.
Mine would be Michael Romo.
That would be great.
I am Michael Paez.
You guys both have the same middle
all
name?
3 of us have the same middle name? How are we just finding this out now?
Wow.
How about that?
You said Paez?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I like it.
Michael Romo's a really good name. I
That
get
is.
Michael Romo's.
That's maybe a quarterback or something.
Seventh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Turning the ball over to Michael Romo in the
There you go.
7th.
I would trust that guy.
Sergio's younger brother.
Yeah, exactly. Sergio's younger brother, Tony's cousin. Yeah, that's aren't you supposed to maybe it's like your exotic dancer name is supposed to be
your pet's name.
And I think the street you grew up on, right?
Uh-huh.
Is it
your first pet's name and the
childhood street?
Yeah.
Well, my first pet was a lady, so it would be Lacey Crystal would be mine.
I mean, I have a pretty fantastic one. It would be Bobo Cabrillo.
Oh, that is fantastic. Bobo Cabrillo?
Yeah.
Oh, that is fantastic. I'm throwing so much money at you, Chris.
Yeah.
Come on. Bobo Cabrillo. What? That's amazing.
Mine would have been something like Winky Ray Court. So
Rinky.
Smurfy Tunes on the YouTube chat. How about these nicknames? Captain Chaos and the Muscle Hamster.
Oh, Muscle Hamster is incredible. I love that. For Doug Martin, I think that's one of I don't really know what it means. Like I'm trying to picture a muscular.
But you know what it means right away.
Exactly.
Right?
It's
he's
like
little, but man,
he's a he's a unit. And I'm just trying to picture what like
built
a muscular
Michael Romo.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Doug Martin Muscle Hamster is absolutely up there. That's one of like the better new age nicknames for sure.
Yes. This is going to be a busy month for Kings fans. I know we got the finals here, and then it's like a long time till the California Classic, early July, right?
Yes,
but we
July
got a lot
3rd and
that's going to
5th.
be going on because we have, of course, the draft coming up,
right?
And then free agency. Technically, teams can start talking to players this month.
I mean, you know how that goes. You know how that illegal tampering period goes.
Or
where
legal tampering.
Well, I mean, there is the legal tampering time, and then there's also the hey, right at 3 or whatever midnight on July 30th, we're going to announce Malik Monk signs for 2 years, 19 million or whatever it is. So yeah, it'll be exciting pretty soon. This is definitely the most dead period. Well, I shouldn't say this. This probably following the California Classic will be the dead period, but it's good to have some news at least on the horizon here.
Yeah. I don't know that the Kings are going to be that active. Maybe they'll surprise us, but they're obviously not necessarily looking for anything major. Whenever Sasha ends up
making
figure that out, that's going to be big.
Hopefully that's before the draft.
Unless some suggest, you move him. He's an asset, but
some are saying that you should consider moving.
That's probably going to be the biggest offseason news, I would guess. And they could always surprise us by trading for somebody or signing somebody, but I think that's probably going to be. My guess would be that.
I would think unless they don't bring back Harrison Barnes and then sign like a Jeremy Grant or something, I think that would just because that's for a starting spot.
You're right, but don't do
hype. Yeah, no, don't do that, please. I don't like Harrison.
He'll put up numbers and he won't help you win.
Don't sign Jeremy Grant.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah, people are very much on the Jeremy Grant hype train, and
really?
I'm very glad to hear that you're not because there's. Yeah, I think
he's
people
look
at the numbers and see somebody that he's just not. Like he's a very solid role player, but he's putting up 20 points on a lot of bad teams here. I think on a winning team, he's probably putting up Harrison Barnes-esque numbers. I don't think he's really much, if any, of an improvement over HB personally.
Yeah, and I don't know how much he helps you in the areas that you really need help in. But one of the things I like about these finals, and this relates to the Kings, the lesson in team building that the Nuggets and the Heat provide, there are no shortcuts. you've got both these teams, and they drafted well,
Mhm.
and they did sign free agents, but they had their structure and they built around that rather than doing what it seemed like the Nets had tried, where just scrap everything.
New team every 3 years.
Bring in Durant and bring in Kyrie, and we'll figure the rest out.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work.
No, we're seeing that it doesn't. It's best to have some level of continuity year after year after year, because you have to know who you are. Your identity can't be your stars. Your identity should be a team-wide identity, or else you really have no identity at all. You're just –
and players that have been together for an extended period. And you see that last year with the Warriors. And then you get in the most important moments of the season, and they know for the most part what to do.
It's trust
Doesn't always
as well.
work, but it's a team.
Absolutely.
And your ceiling is a lot higher than it is for a team that, well, you just got here and you're really good, and I just got here, and the coach, we don't know how good a coach he is, but let's go beat a really good team.
Right.
Yeah. And the Kings clearly are on that track.
Absolutely. I mean, they played their starting lineup more than anybody else. They understand that if this thing's going to work, it's going to take these guys knowing each other and working on a string together, both offensively and defensively. It's
incremental improvements.
Absolutely. Yeah. Not making the Rudy Gobert trade this offseason. I think that's the key to this offseason, is just building. You just build upon things. You don't need to tear down any foundation. You're still laying the bricks on the foundation. Honestly, it feels like we're at a solid point, but frankly, you can still lie down a lot more bricks to make sure that this thing is solid for a couple even more years moving forward. I'm not ready to push in and say, let's win now.
I think Boston has done that too, to their credit.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's still something lacking.
Right.
And they did have a new coach, which they didn't choose to get a new coach. They kind of had to. But I would argue that the Lakers suffered from the fact that those guys haven't been together that long. And you've also got your two guys that you brought in from other places and kind of built around them, and they're aging now. And their shelf life as a team, as a contender, is, I think, an open issue right now.
Absolutely. I mean, they could look completely different next year. They could be without Austin Reeves. They could be without Rui Hachimura, who you could argue were their two biggest contributors outside of their two stars. It might work out for a year, but we saw with Phoenix. You could argue Phoenix the same thing. You can't just tear down something that you've been building for so long and essentially sell your soul to the devil and play the star game, because a lot of the time you're going to lose out to teams like Denver, who have that level of continuity and have multiple people around who can impact the game. It can't just all be about one guy. And I think the Kings are building towards that as well.
It doesn't guarantee success, but it
doesn't,
especially for a small market team. It's the smartest approach by far.
Yeah. It's much better to build a collective of talent than to just rely on one guy as a small team or as a small market, because that's how you're just going to be able to win. You're not going to be able to play the star game unless you do what Minnesota did and trade everything, or do what the Suns did and get rid of two really key role players in order to get that star. The best thing to do is to build the team organically from the bottom up. And the Kings have started to do that here, starting this season, and hopefully going into this offseason as well. They continue to just build and build and build.
And I know Sabonis was third team all league, but you got Fox, you got Keegan Murray. Potentially he could become
he can elevate,
star player.
Sure. I think he's got a lot of room to grow in that sense. But I think, again, coming into the league as an elite shooter already is a great foundation to have. He's just got to build upon that. And frankly, it's going to be on Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray's development is all in the hands of Keegan and the work that he puts in the offseason. And yesterday we saw he was again in the gym with De'Aaron Fox. I don't know if you saw or not, Keegan holding De'Aaron's baby.
Yeah.
Something tells me that's the first baby Keegan's ever held.
Speaking of young players and how bright their futures may be, Trey Lance, does he really have a 49er future? That's next. Chris and Co. Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates. It's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
For a business to thrive, there needs to be a constant stream of new customers. This happens through strong lead generation. Did you know that lead generation is one of the most important tools of any marketing campaign? Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products and services to them. To get started today, contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results today.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing. But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
If your Medi-Cal is ending, Cover California is here to help. Cover California is a service from the state that helps you get affordable health insurance. In many cases, at no cost to you, just like with Medi-Cal. We have quality health plans and will help you every step of the way to get the one that works for you and your family. So if you're no longer eligible for Medi-Cal, check out Cover California. We'll keep you covered. Learn more at coveredca.com.
Are you tired of sky-high energy bills? Well, ACR Solar and Home Services can help you out. With over 40 years of experience, ACR Solar and Home Services is the name you can trust for all of your solar needs. Now, what makes them stand out? Well, they handle everything in-house, so you don't have to deal with any third-party contractors. And they don't just offer a one-size-fits-all solution. ACR Solar and Home Services customizes every solar system to meet your unique needs, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner. But that's not all. ACR Solar and Home Services also offers additional services like roofing, battery backup, and pool solar. So they truly are your one-stop shop for all things solar. Don't wait any longer to take control of your energy bills. Contact ACR Solar and Home Services today and start saving big with solar power. Believe me, you won't regret it. So go to acrsolar.com to find out more.
My father was a career United States Air Force pilot, and Memorial Day is a reminder of all he and so many others did for our country. Hi, this is Franklin Rosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now at the annual Memorial Day sale, everything in the store is on sale. Everything from living rooms to sofas to sectionals to dining rooms to home offices and so much more. And while you're there at Naturewood Home Furnishings, don't miss the parking lot clearance featuring drastically reduced closeouts, floor samples, and discontinued items now up to 50% off and more. Right now at the Naturewood Memorial Day sale, you can save in the store and in the parking lot. Whether you're looking to lighten the mood in your living room, brighten up your bedroom, or tighten up your home office, it's all available for you at Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
During a Flex Alert, let's do the dishes after 9.
What about the laundry?
It can wait until tonight, or even the morning.
The AC?
It's at 78. Let's cool the house in the morning.
All right, so we're just chilling until 9.
Pretty much. And we can help avoid a power outage.
Putting off chores for later and hanging out with my best friend. I love Flex.
Maybe you should just unplug the appliances downstairs.
Good idea. Better acoustics in the basement.
California, the power is ours with Flex Alerts. Flex Alerts, the power is ours.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Rillard with your Sactown Sports headlines. Last night, the Denver Nuggets beat the Miami Heat 104-93 in their first franchise NBA Finals game. Nikola Jokic also added his name to the record books. He joins Jason Kidd as the only other player to record a triple-double in his NBA Finals debut. He finished the night with 27 points, 10 rebounds, and 14 assists. Nuggets and the Heat are off until Sunday for Game 2 in Denver. The Athletics' Shams Charania is reporting that the Suns and Frank Vogel are finalizing a 5-year, $31 million contract to become the new head coach. Vogel was previously the head coach of the Lakers, where he won an NBA championship in 2020. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Chris and company with Whitey and Watkins.
Thank you, Chris Verlaud. Chris Verlaud, who put together our YouTube poll today. What fictional basketball player from a motion picture would you want the Kings to sign in free agency? Chris Verlaud has seen every movie ever made at least 3 times.
At least.
Most, he's seen more than that. But
Yeah.
if you're talking about every movie, he's seen every movie at least 3 times. Jesus Shuttlesworth, he got game, 49% of the vote at last check. And then we have Scott Howard, Teen Wolf, 23%, other at 18%, and some great suggestions there. And then Lewis Scott from Celtic Pride, Verlaud tells us 10%, which I think is all Verlaud.
It's tough.
Maybe he would be too expensive.
Anyway, we appreciate your participation there. We've been talking about nicknames as well, because I feel like Jokic deserves a better nickname than Joker. But I realize that's just the way it's going to be. So we've been talking about nicknames. So let me ask you this, dear listener, Verlaud, Chris Watkins, YouTube chat. What's the best nickname a Sacramento Kings player has ever had?
It's got to be Jay Will. White chocolate is
fantastic,
pretty elite for many different reasons.
If we made a team of top 5, would The Rock be on there?
I think so.
And I don't even know if we'd have enough for 5.
What is? I was too young. What is The Rock? Like, where does that? Is it just because he's solid?
I believe so.
Solid like a rock.
Yeah, and he was. Yeah.
In terms of build, right? Not in terms of like consistency or like
He was
reliability.
pretty consistent too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like the origin of the nickname more is like, is it because he's so consistent? It's like you can always rely on him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like it.
I've been trying to push Game Over as De'Aaron Fox's nickname.
Yeah.
I like that.
Game over.
But you haven't gotten much traction?
No.
Not much.
It's not your day, is
it? Is not. Red Velvet's good.
Red Velvet's great, actually. Red Velvet's so good. Meta World Peace, does that count?
No, because that was legally his name.
Legally his name. Yeah, or else it's like Ron, right?
Yeah.
The Vlad Father. I said the Vlad Father. That's pretty good. I don't know if he didn't have that nickname as a player, right? That was more. I think that was more of Vladdy the GM.
I'm not sure. And wasn't Brad Miller B-52?
Yes.
Is that like a plane? Is that?
Yeah, it's a bomber.
Yeah,
which kind of works out.
See, yeah.
Yeah.
That went
on a number of levels.
Way over my head.
Well, that's what bombers do.
Hey now.
Yeah.
Webb. How about C Webb?
Well, see, then we're back to the
Bib.
Yeah. Just variations of.
I don't think Doug had a nickname. No. Yeah.
I think honestly, DC. He was DC.
DC. Right. Yeah. Peja didn't have any. Tyreek was Reek. Isaiah Thomas, IT, Mighty Mouse, I think Jerry Reynolds would call him.
Yeah, and I thought Mighty Mouse was Damian Stoudemire.
Right, yeah.
Or Damian Stoudemire.
Yeah. Yeah, there hasn't honestly been many. How about the Great Rudini?
Ha! Well, the guy that came up with, I think, that nickname and
Yes.
some others, Jerry Reynolds, is going to join us at South.
We'll have to ask Jerry because Jerry is somebody who creates them. So yeah, as I'm sure he's the leading authority on this. We'll ask that.
Yeah. So Jerry Reynolds joining us top of the hour. As we've been mentioning off and on today, we're getting ready for football, especially 49er football coming to Sactown Sports. John Lynch had some interesting things to say about Trey Lance this week in an interview with SiriusXM. And John Lynch is just gushing about Trey Lance and how he's done this year during the team's offseason program. We're extremely high on Trey. The great thing for Trey and for Sam Darnold that we brought in is with Brock off to the sideline, Brock had his first session throwing the other day. Everything's tracking great. But those guys have had the work in. They've got to the work in. They have got the work in the offseason, and they're both relishing that opportunity. Really proud of Trey. Trey came back off a broken and dislocated ankle, and he's out there, has had a really, really quality offseason. So we still remain very high on Trey, end quote. I read that. I don't doubt that Trey Lance deserves a ton of credit. I just feel like you guys are going to trade him. He doesn't have a future here.
Well, also, if you were very, very high on Trey Lance, then he would probably be starting games, right? You would probably say, well, we're so high on this guy that we're willing – even if you're just high on his future, you would probably say, well, then we're willing to take some lumps now because it'll be good for him in the long run.
Yeah.
I think all of this is just a sell job. They're trying to boost up his value as much as possible, trying to convince people that he's still worthy of all that they get, and obviously I think the 49ers understand that they're not going to get anything in return that's even close to what they gave up. But I think that they're just trying to secure any form of value that Trey has at this point. And, the best way of doing that is by saying, no. He's still really good. We just have so many really good options that he's just not our best one.
John Lynch, obviously brilliant, went to Stanford, a great football player. It bothers me the way he phrases it, really proud of Trey. That seems almost kind of patronizing, doesn't it?
A little bit.
He's worked really hard. Okay, but really proud of him. Makes it sound like, gosh, that young guy.
Yeah, he's
learning
busting
how to do
his
this.
tail out there.
He doesn't know what he's doing, but I'm so proud of him.
That is definitely something you say. Like, you're not going to say that about Tom Brady, even if you're a 65-year-old GM talking to 45-year-old. You're not going to be like, I'm so proud of Tom Brady and his work ethic that he's put out there.
Now, I know we are talking about the team president, GM, or whatever, talking about a player.
Sure.
But it is kind of,
yeah, it's a little not condescending, but it's
a little bit.
Yeah, I guess it is, right? It's just a little bit of
proud of him.
It's not the right phrasing. It's just not the right words that you should use when you're talking about somebody who's also like, this is your starting quarterback, somebody that you should have. Not saying that's disrespectful or anything, but you should probably expect your quarterback to be great.
Yeah, I think they've probably already decided, right? Look,
I think
keep him around because who knows what's going to happen. But he's not our guy.
I think they know that. I mean, with the fact that they were so quick to crown Brock Purdy as the starter after any level of success that he had during the regular season, the fact that they're willing, so quickly to just move on from all of the assets they gave up in order to get Lance. I think you traditionally see organizations say, I don't care if Brock Purdy legitimately looks like Peyton Manning. We spent all of these assets on this. We're going to at least see, we're going to run this thing into the ground until the wheels fall off. And, the wheels fell off last year, but I think traditionally you would still see teams give that guy a chance until it's just absolutely not going to work out. And the fact that the 49ers won't even play him, and, Sam Darnold was getting first team reps the other day at OTAs as well, that just tells me that Trey Lance today is not even close to being where he needs to be. And if I'm another team, I'm not buying any of this propaganda that John Lynch is trying to sell. And I'm going to continue to tell the 49ers, like, my best offer is whatever, third, fourth, second round pick, whatever it is. I'm not changing, because at the end of the day, him staying on your roster is not good for you.
Wasn't your team one of the teams believed to have some interest in Trey Lance?
They absolutely were. I mean, Trey Lance is a Minnesota kid, from what I understand, and it would be a lot softer of a landing for him, because there is Kirk Cousins in that spot right now. He'll have a full year of no questions on whether or not he's going to be the starter or what's wrong with Trey Lance, and then everything moving forward would be gravy. He would have an opportunity next season to potentially move into the starting spot, or if they don't feel good about where Trey Lance was, they could just continue to re-up on Kirk Cousins. But I think that situation with where the 49ers are at now, the second Brock Purdy finds any sort of struggle, I think there's going to be chance for Trey Lance to come into the game, especially if it looks really, really bad for Brock. I just think that it's an unnecessary distraction that the 49ers have in their locker room.
We may never know, but I believe the narrative that Shanahan had to essentially be talked into picking Trey Lance. And I know that he's going to do what he wants. So
Right.
I'm not saying he didn't want to. I'm saying he got talked into it enough to where he got to the point where he felt like, yeah, I guess he is our best bet. But I don't know that he ever really wanted Trey Lance.
Do you think the Mac Jones rumors were true?
I do. I'll tell you why
was
they
that
might
the guy?
not be. I've heard that there was another guy who is not there anymore in the quarterback room as a coach who might have been spreading some of that disinformation.
Yeah.
And so, that could be true. And that guy's not there anymore, which would maybe
Tell
lend
you,
some
yeah.
credence to that. But there with the reporting, trying to piece it together at the time, there was some pretty good sources saying that Mac Jones was really the guy that Shanahan wanted. And it turns out probably that wouldn't have been a very good pick either.
No, it wouldn't
I don't
have,
know.
especially
But I
not
do.
at 3.
I believe that. I think he liked Mac Jones and was talked into taking Trey Lance. And
Yeah.
Trey still has a lot of promise, but it sounds like at this point they just feel like, or Shanahan feels like, yeah, he needs
He's not
to be
my
further
guy.
along.
Yeah. He's not his guy. And that's the thing to me is, If I'm the 49ers too, you might as well cut bait early. Like, I think holding on to him and just continually
but you want to get back
him
as much as you can.
You do, but I don't think him sitting is going to help his value at all. Like, if he just sits on the bench and you can keep talking him up, but at some point people are going to raise the question, if he's so good, why isn't he playing? I just think if he continues to not play, his value is only going to get lower and lower.
Mm-hmm. It looks like maybe he's not the player.
So maybe if he does play, his value could tank completely.
Looks like maybe he's not even as adept when it comes to running the football as they thought he
was. Right. Well,
be.
And it sounds like they might try and not completely eliminate, but take out all of the design runs from him, since that's what ended up being his downfall last year. So if you're taking away a huge part of his game and pretty much making him only a thrower, we've seen countless examples of people who rely heavily on being that dual threat. When you take away the duality of it, they become a completely less significant quarterback.
Do the 49ers really want Trey Lance? We don't know. Does Vegas even want the A's? I think we know the answer to that.
Yeah.
That's next. Chris and Co. Sactown Sports.
The Kings season might be over, but Sactown Sports coverage never stops.
Returning is honestly my number one priority. Be a part of something special.
Stay tuned all off season to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Pain is not normal. Repeat, pain is not normal. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here with the Good Feet Store. Does this sound familiar? It's the end of the workday, and the pain in your feet, knees, hips, or back is unrelenting. Good Feet understands that you've likely already tried assorted remedies and solutions with no relief. And now you're pretty much resigned to living with the pain. But do not give in to the pain. Instead, come to the Good Feet store for their end-to-end 3-step arch support system. Good Feet is the nation's largest manufacturer and retailer of personalized arch supports. With arch supports in over 300 sizes, styles, and flexibilities, and an arch support specialist in each store. Come in today for a free no-obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk around the store or around the center. Experience the comfort, balance, and support possible with the Good Feet system. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now in Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Now through Memorial Day, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Guys, did you know that June is Men's Health Month? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T level is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your hormones are serious business, and most men start to see changes in their hormone levels starting in their 30s. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Get your T levels checked today by a local, experienced, and trusted healthcare professional. Revive Men's Health has successfully helped thousands of men since 2011. Experience and results matter. So, what are you waiting for? Call Revive today to schedule your free testosterone test and free exam. We know we can help you. We guarantee it. Celebrate Men's Health Month. Get your free T-level test and save $199. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kent Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kent Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Let's change this to that by properly disposing of litter, picking up after our pets, reducing pesticide use, and regularly servicing your vehicle. Learn how to protect our waterways at BeRiverFriendly.net.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
want to thank you, the smartest listeners in radio, for helping us out here. We were just talking a moment ago about some Kings players' nicknames. There's a whole bunch of really good ones that we just totally whiffed on.
Completely spaced.
Totally whiffed on.
I mean, even DeMarcus, Boogie. There was Boogie. I liked calling DeMarcus Boogie. It never really made sense in terms of the fit, but that was a great one. Corliss Big Nasty. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good one. I also like Scoreless. Scoreless Williamson.
My daughter's friend Amanda, she named her dog Boogie.
Really?
And
After DeMarcus?
Yeah.
Oh,
And they
I
just
love
got a couple years ago.
Yeah,
so,
that's a good dog name. That's a really good dog
He's
name.
a good
I like-
dog.
What kind
That's
of dog is it?
always tough to have like a dog named after an athlete.
Ooh, yeah.
I got a friend whose dog's name is Jimmer.
Oh, that's terrible. I may or may not have named my cat after Tyrese Halliburton. It's her name is Hallie. So at least I get the it's a
works either
normal
way.
name, but it is definitely in spirit because of Tyrese Halliburton.
Boogie is a Labrador Retriever.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Kmart as well. I mean, that's kind of every, Kenyon Martin was kind of Kmart before Kevin Martin was Kmart.
Yeah, but it's one at least I forgot.
Right.
Off Night was
Off
mentioned
Night
as well, which is,
Can I say I don't love Off Night. I don't like calling him Off
I think
Night.
it's a great nickname.
I think it's a great thing to say about what Davion Mitchell does, but calling him Davion Off Night Mitchell.
Oh, you're skeptical
I
of his
love it.
defensive prowess at this level?
No. It's not that at all. It's just I just don't like calling him. I don't think it's like something. Oh yeah, that's my guy Off Night over there. Like it just doesn't really roll off. It's not really a nickname because you can't really call him Off Night. Like or it doesn't roll to me. Like it's just it feels not calling him Off Night feels forced. Like I understand he gives people off nights. I get the joke, but it's not something you would call somebody. You wouldn't be like, hey, what's up, Off Night? Like you can call someone Kmart. You can
have to
call
shorten
someone
it. No,
Boogie.
Seriously, going along with it, if I think I understand you as well as I do, sometimes that would be short, so people would call him Off, or they'd call him Night.
Exactly,
Right? What's up,
exactly.
Night?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like you can't call exactly. You would either have what up Off or what up. Hey, good game last night. Night or Off. Oh, geez, that one completely broke my brain. But you can call Harrison Barnes Black Falcon, But Off Night, it does. I don't know. Maybe this is just a me thing. Doesn't quite roll off the tongue the way I would want it to.
I like it. I think it works.
I think
What
it's
about you,
cool.
Prahlad?
I think it's
What do you
cool when
think?
it works, but I just don't want to call
I like Off Night, especially when that first summer league game.
Oh, come on.
And he's like, game Off Night.
Yes. That was a fantastic call.
Was that Mark Jones?
No, I don't think
No?
it was. It might have been Jared Greenberg even.
You said Summer League, right?
It was Summer League when they were playing the Charlotte Hornets, and he locked down James Bouknight. If you remember,
Ooh.
James Bouknight was picked
It
almost
was a
immediately after.
Touted. Yeah.
Highly touted.
From Rutgers?
From UConn, I believe. Davion locked him up in the summer league, and he went to UConn. Davion locked him up in summer league, and that it felt appropriate at that time. But again, I don't like calling him the person Off Night. I'm never going to be like, "What up, Off Night? Yeah, crazy game last night." Doesn't work for me.
Did you hear what happened Monday night at the A's official pitch for the new Las Vegas ballpark?
Is that when the guy ran on the field and security didn't stop him? No, I'm kidding.
Nevada legislators were hearing the A's official pitch for the new ballpark.
John Fisher came out of his cave
For the
to make
first
an
and only
appearance.
time Monday night. They were watching the hockey game.
I'm sorry?
The legislators during the presentation by I think it was the guy we talked about, Jeremy Aguero.
Yeah. Sergio's
Founder
cousin.
of Las Vegas-based applied analysis and an A's consultant, presenting the stadium construction timeline to lawmakers. And then it was what would she be? A state senator? Marilyn Dondarou-Loop said, before we go any further, Golden Knights up 2-0 in the middle of the joint session.
Oh, boy.
Of the Nevada senators and assembly members.
They don't care. Even the assembly are just like
it was a big hockey game.
It was. In their defense, it was a big hockey game. But come on, you would like to think, you're pitching to add another team here.
Uh-huh. But we were listening to you, Mr. Aguero. And then there's a voice in the background saying, no one's paying attention. So as Yahoo points out, either they really love their hockey team or they're just not very serious about this whole thing.
How about yes to that question? How about both of those things? That's the vibe I'm getting. Is that
the Knights are Nevada's team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's theirs. That's the only one that started there.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one that got, I think they're one of the reasons why the Raiders came there, because they proved that it can happen.
Right. No public funding on that as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yes, night and
that's
day.
how you do it.
By the way, she got the score wrong. It was actually 3-0 when she said 2-0. Legislation in question, as you know, Nevada Senate Bill 509 would provide up to $380 million in public funding for the proposed $1.5 billion Las Vegas ballpark if approved. It looks to me like it's likely to get through the legislature.
We'll see.
And then it would go to, is it the mayor or the governor who is expected to?
I think it's the governor.
The governor who is behind this.
Yes.
It doesn't look good. But my question is, the fans of Las Vegas, the citizens of Las Vegas, do they want the A's? And it sounds like some do, but for the most part, people just don't really care.
From what I've seen, every poll they've put out, and they've had some on the Nevada legislative website, they have some on their local news station polls and stuff. Every single one I have seen have been very, very much against this bill. It's been like an 80-20 split from the public in terms of wanting to not pass this bill.
And you're right, of course, it is the governor, Joe Lombardo, the governor.
I think the A's would pray for the people there not to care. It sounds like they actively do not want them there.
And they're like, it's okay because we're going to get 9,000 people every game who aren't from here.
Ridiculous. It's just not going to happen that way. It's and Chris, if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw last night that their budget didn't pass, that the governor,
one of the major bills as part of the budget was vetoed by the governor. So that's something that apparently they're working on.
Right, because they said they weren't going to pass any, this SB 509 bill will not, they're not even going to discuss it until a budget for the state gets approved first, correct?
And they also said if they need a special session to work on the budget, still the A's baseball stadium won't be part of it.
So they have to get this thing done by Monday.
Yes. Someone's going to have to lie pretty soon.
We do know that. Assuming that.
Unless they go to special session, right?
Yeah, but they've said, to Chris's point, if it goes to special session, we're not discussing.
No, it's just to figure out the budget. And then if we get to that point in this process where it's off the table for them to negotiate this until next year, I don't know if this Las Vegas thing is going to work out. I mean, they already pushed the expected opening date for their stadium to 2028 now, where it was expected to be 2027.
Because they're not knocking down the hotel for a year or year and a half.
Another deadline is January 24th. You know what that deadline is?
I don't.
Okay. The A's have to have some kind of stadium plan in place, or else baseball will not allow them to continue to be revenue sharers. So that's a huge...
Oh, and that's all John Fisher cares about, right?
Yes. So that's another reason why they're like,
okay,
why is this stuff coming out
Hasta
like
pronto.
this? Yeah, because they're up against that deadline. It's a huge deadline for them.
Massive. That's absolutely huge. And then there's still questions on where are they going to play from here until then. We still don't know the answer to that question.
Cashman Field, they say. We're going to share the field with the AAA Aviators.
No thanks. No thanks. And I've heard Sacramento too, and I've got some questions about whether Sacramento is a good option. I think I would absolutely love it. I would welcome it, but I don't think that's
dirty. It'd be great for Sacramento to show baseball. Look, we can do this.
Right.
I would feel
it would feel really weird, and it would be cool because it's a last opportunity. It's close enough to where A's fans can get their nice goodbye, but it's just not the same. And you're right. Like, a part of it would feel a little dirty that it's like, thanks for letting us do this, guys. Sorry you lost your team, but this is still really
hope against hope that it fails.
Yeah.
And there's still a chance, but it's looking bad. It's
looking really, really bad. And I still don't, they said it the other day in the during the legislation, but they essentially, if it's not Vegas, it doesn't mean that they're going to go back to the negotiating table with Oakland either. They're just going to look for somewhere else.
Coming up, the great Jerry Reynolds on game one of the finals, and I'm sure he's got some thoughts on the best Kings nicknames of all time.
He better.
He joins us next on Chris & Co. Sactown Sports, SactownSports.com.
It's Cattles and Rami.
For me, what Jaylen Brown is
He's not a name. I would argue
he's a Robin,
down.
not a Batman.
He's a Robin.
Yeah.
He is definitely. He's a heck of a Robin. He's a top 5 Robin in the league. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sending Robin out to take out the best villain.
No, you need Batman.
Mr. Freeze.
You need Batman to get the Joker, right?
Absolutely.
You might send Robin after Scarecrow or
there
something.
You go.
You know what I mean?
Come on now. You're speaking on it.
So is Scarecrow Michael Porter Jr. in this scenario?
Cattles and Rami, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17, in-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
It ignites something inside of you. It's Thunder Valley's $20,000 20th anniversary cash giveaway. 5 winners on Friday and Saturday nights in June. One very lucky guest wins $20,000 guaranteed. See it. Hear it. Feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton. See all our inventory and specials at AcuraofStockton.com.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. With CalHope's free and secure mental health resources, it's easy to get the help you and your loved ones need when you need it the most. Call or text our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level. Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlot with your Sactown Sports headlines. Last night, the Denver Nuggets beat the Miami Heat 104-93 in their first franchise NBA Finals game. Nikola Jokic also added his name to the record books. He joins Jason Kidd as the only other player to record a triple-double in his NBA Finals debut. He finished the night with 27 points, 10 rebounds, and 14 assists. Nuggets and Heat are off until Sunday for Game 2 in Denver. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Chris and Co. with Whitey and Watkins.
Jerry Reynolds will be joining us in just a moment here. Before we get to that, you were asking Chris about Mitch Richmond, The Rock. How did he get the nickname The Rock? Yeah, according to Mitch Richmond, when I came to the Warriors, Rod Higgins and Chris Mullin started calling me The Rock because I was posting up a lot and going to the hole. Everybody was just bouncing off of me. So that's how he became The Rock, and he brought that nickname with him.
I thought it was maybe going to be like a "Give me the rock" kind of thing.
No, he was just a solid.
Just a solid guy. Guys bouncing off of him left to right.
Yeah. Do you know who engineered the trade to bring him here to Sacramento?
No, I do not.
Our next guest, former Sacramento Kings coach, of course, TV analyst, and he was a GM when he engineered the trade to bring The Rock to Sacramento. Jerry Reynolds, how are you today, Jerry?
You know, I'm really good. I'm just enjoying. I had my walk-in already. I listened to 1140. Chris and Whitey, you know, I mean, it's just, couldn't be better. I never, first time I've ever been able to get 1140 up here in South Lake Tahoe.
Wow.
Look at that.
Yeah, it was a little scratchy. I don't know if it was, you know, the signal or just you guys are scratchy.
Scratchy.
That's
today.
us. That's on us.
Can you tell us about the deal, how it came together when you brought in Mitch Richmond? Because obviously, I would think of all the deals you did, that's got to be one of the ones you're most proud of.
Yeah, that is. I always said that probably was the best one. You know, we had the third pick, and Nelly was with the Warriors at the time, and he wanted Billy Owens.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but there were some issues at the time, so we end up basically drafting Billy in effect for them, and then we needed to actually even sign him. I mean, it's a case where, you know, I think they felt like you know, Billy was going to be a major star and that they needed more size. And of course he provided more size, didn't provide the more star. You know, I got criticized a lot in the Bay Area for like, you know, how could they, you know, typical of the Sabonis, Halliburton thing, you know, it's like, how could the Kings be so dumb? And I said, wait a minute, I might be dumb, but Mitch was rookie of the year. And the second year he was averaging 22.5. And then, you know, I had a close up personal vision of him getting 44 on us. So I didn't see the risk, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And, you know, and the Kings, the way I really took it was that the Kings needed a star. You know, just never really didn't have one, and hadn't had a star of that caliber, you know, and of course didn't until Weber came.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's kind of how it took a little while, but we also got Les Jepson in it. I don't want you to forget that.
That's
now.
right. Of course not. Of course not.
Yeah, because the last time I saw Les, he lives in Minnesota, in Minneapolis. He said, You do know that Mitch was the throw-in, right? I said, Les, you're exactly right.
Yep. Yeah. Jerry, talking about the NBA Finals, and me and Whitey have been going back and forth, and I can't see any possible path for Miami to win this series, and it's mainly due to the fact that Nikola Jokic just seems like he's an impossible riddle to solve. Is there anything Miami can do that you think can slow him down?
I think injuries. That's it.
Yeah, really. I know. Really, just him not playing.
I think Denver's, you know, enough better size-wise, talent-wise, and they've got a coach the equal probably to Spoelstra. I mean, I don't know if he's, you know, they're certainly two top-level coaches,
Absolutely.
so that won't be a factor. And I think Miami can win a game or two. I kind of picked them to be a 6-game series, and I kind of still think that. I mean, they're such a gutty, tough bunch. And there'll be nights when Strus and Robinson and Martin make a shot or two.
Right.
And but to your initial question, I just don't see how they beat Denver.
Jerry, how impressed were you with Denver's quick start, given that they'd had that long layoff?
Well, surprised to be one for sure. I didn't expect that. I really thought that Miami would have a chance. You know, they've been great in first games all through the playoffs, and they were coming off, you know, a tough win against the Celtics. I just thought they'd go in there and really play them tough, and they just didn't. Of course, you know, it's amazing actually that they had kind of a chance there in the fourth, but they couldn't, you know, they just couldn't make any shots.
Would you be willing to allow, like, as a coach, are you willing to live more with Jokic scoring on you? Like if he gives you 40 or 50 points in a given game, or do you feel like doubling him and making him a passer is the way that you would at least like to go down if he's going to kill you?
I just would, you know, I would hate to allow him to pass.
Mm.
You know, I'd sure like to make it tougher on him passing, because that makes everybody else probably a notch better than they are.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, if he gets, you know, 35, or so, and he only gets 5 assists, I think they've got a better chance of winning that way. But and I'll say this, and too is Miami, and I'll be surprised if we don't see a lot more zone the next game. I thought the zone was a little tougher for Denver there in a couple of stretches. So we'll see. But with the 2-man game, with the Joker and Jamal Murray, I mean, man, I don't know how many two-man packages we've seen better than that.
Yeah.
Speaking of twos, Jerry, and the great Jerry Reynolds, our guest here on Sactown Sports, what did you think of Miami shooting 2 free throws? Did you think, no, they just didn't get to the basket, or did you think maybe Denver got the benefit of the home whistle a little bit?
Well, I didn't really think about it at the time until the announcers brought it up, and I was thinking, wow, that's about impossible to only get 2 free throws. I don't recall thinking they should have got more free throws at the time. And I mean, I do think that Jimmy Butler, I think, pointed it out. I mean, he says we got to put more pressure on the rim, and he said it about himself, and I think there's a lot of truth in that. You can't go 3 of those guys went 2 of 23 from the floor, and it's hard to do that if you're really going at the basket and without drawing some fouls. So, yeah, I think that I'm not saying that Denver didn't get. They might have got the benefit of a whistle or 2, but so did Miami.
Yeah, right.
Right. I just think it was one of those fluke kind of things that we won't see again. And I mean, I think Denver's going to have to, as good as they played in that first half, they're going to have to play like that in the second half. I mean, because they it wasn't that big a gap after the first half, but they were terrific in that first half when they needed to be.
Jerry, moving on to the Kings and some draft talk here. Nothing too specific about players or anything, but I'm just curious, when you're sitting at number 24, which is a position that the Kings haven't been in ages now, how do you attack the draft process when you frankly just don't know who's even going to be there at number 24?
Well, I think you really try to work at, basically if 3 or 4 guys, maybe even more, that have a chance to be there. And then kind of narrow it down to, the 2 or 3 you hope are. And, and basically based on the idea that you're hoping those guys, can be NBA players. I've talked, Whitey about this a little bit. It's like in years gone by when Kings were good, it's hard to remember now, but when they're real good, they were drafting late and really got some terrific players like Kevin Martin at 24 and Gerald Wallace at, I think, 28 or something, Hedo Turkoglu at 16 or 17. Mm-hmm. I mean, those were really top flight players, and, and they couldn't play for a while because they couldn't find time.
Right.
I mean, Hedo was so good you couldn't keep him off the floor. But so it's, I think when you're really good, you can draft with the idea of we've got time for this guy. He doesn't have to play. And so that makes it a lot easier, because when you're in the lottery, you're looking for a star, and your fans are looking for a star. And quite honestly, a lot of them aren't stars.
Right.
Yeah. Jerry, we appreciate your time. Before we let you get back to life by the lake, we were talking a lot about nicknames today, Kings players' nicknames. Did you have, and I know you made up a number of them, do you have a favorite of all your time here with the Sacramento Kings, a player who really fit the nickname, or just a nickname that you really enjoyed for all the Sacramento Kings?
Probably my favorite was Rudy Gay. I called him the Great Rudini.
Yeah.
That was a personal favorite.
The Great Rudini and Rudy Trey. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with that. So, I mean, the other one maybe was Brockman. I called him, the Brock Nest Monster.
Yes,
that's right.
Oh, that's terrific. That was so terrific. How could we forget about that one?
Yeah, and I mean, he's a guy you had to love watching him play.
Yes.
He really wasn't that good, but everything he had, and I mean, he bounced a few folks around. I mean, he knew he was on the floor. He was just see guys rolling their eyes like, holy crap, this guy, get him out of here.
Thanks, Coach. I'll see you next week. I guess Monday for the old-fashioned 3. We appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, I came up here to start preparing for it.
Great. Awesome. Thank you.
Guys.
Yeah. The one and only Jerry Reynolds. You
best.
called it. The great Rudini.
The great Rudini is a personal favorite. And he did used to have a lot of just Rudy. Yeah. Rudy Trey.
Yeah.
He would have so much fun with Rudy Gay's name. And then, the Brock Ness Monster is one that's going to be forgotten in time because that was a very low period of Kings basketball where just frankly, not many people were watching, but Brock Ness Monster was really perfect with the name and with how it fit his game as well.
All right, Chris, you asked Jerry about the 24th pick. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm
to go head-to-head with me.
Let's do it.
On the all 24th pick draft.
All 24.
Picking 2 teams of players who were drafted 24th in the NBA.
You'd be surprised how many names.
Are you ready? You think you're ready, but are you ready?
No, I'm ready.
Right.
I'm ready. There's some good names out there.
Yeah,
Very surprising.
Yeah, coming right back with that on Chris and Co. Sactown Sports.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track, makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
At Wells Fargo, if you accidentally overdraw your account, we give you an extra day grace period to avoid the overdraft fee. What if everything came with an extra day?
Sunday night and I have the Sunday scaries.
Honey, don't be scared. Every weekend comes with an extra day now.
All right. TGI Sunday.
It helps to have an extra day. When it comes to overdrafts, you can with Wells Fargo.
Visit wellsfargo.com/getextra to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Subject to timing requirements and the bank's funds availability policy. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Lowe's knows the value of quality paint for pros. That's why starting on June 5th, Pro Paint Days are coming to Lowe's. Shop special savings on the products you need for all your paint jobs. Plus, MVP's members can take advantage of an additional limited time only paint offer when you shop Valspar and HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams. Join the Pro MVP's Rewards program today. Offers valid 6/5 to 6/16. Exclusions, restrictions, and more terms apply. See Lowe's.com/L/Pro Loyalty Terms. Subject to change.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Is there anything better than talking to Jerry Reynolds on a Friday? Huh?
I don't think so.
Just lift your spirits.
I really don't think so.
Spirits are already high on Friday.
No, we should have had him on earlier because it would have carried me through. I'm ready to go another 4 hours.
Yeah. This is Chris and Company. He's Watkins. I'm Whitey. You were asking Jerry Reynolds about the 24th pick. So what are we calling this? We have a name for this, right? Is it team building?
I don't think we have a name for it. It was mock draft. It was team build. We'll figure it out as we'll workshop it.
What we do is we draft teams. I think we've only done basketball to this point. Maybe we'll
we'll
shake
branch
that up
out
at some point. Last time we did in honor of Wembanyama.
Yes,
we did the French draft.
We
had French players, and we each got to pick one French thing.
Yes,
and you mocked my. I think I had French toast.
You had French.
You
toast.
mocked that.
I did. Yeah. I just I just don't think that's. I picked Kylian Mbappe, and he's a real person, and. I saw he was
to me on Twitter, which you rarely do.
He was, I saw a video of Victor Wembanyama with Kylian Mbappe, and I was like, my team chemistry is just through the roof. Like, unless you could present me an image of Tony Parker and French toast in the same vicinity, I think I won that draft.
Yeah, I meant to look for that, and I forgot.
Well,
So today our draft
I'm sure it exists somewhere.
We're drafting, and Christopher Lott is kind of the referee here.
Yeah.
In case we have any disputes, we're drafting players that were taken 24th in the NBA draft.
Yep. Yeah. Very simple concept.
Give an idea of what type of player could be available to the Kings at 24. So I like to give you the option. You can either have the first pick or you can pick second, and then I would get picks 2 and 3.
Yes. I took a putt.
Or do I wait?
No,
if you would get second in the third pick, or I get the first. I said it wrong.
Well,
you can have 1 or give me one and then you get 2 and 3, whichever you want.
You get one because I missed the putt that I took during the break. So you can have the number 1 pick.
With the first pick in the
I'm curious how this goes.
24th selection.
This
draft.
could change everything here.
Ah, boy. I am going
I like
to
the fact that you're waffling.
Well, I got some pretty good choices. I'm going to pick Latrell Sprewell.
Oh, that's a decent pick.
Latrell Sprewell.
That's a decent pick.
1992 out of Alabama.
Yeah.
Picked 24th by the Warriors.
That's a good pick, Whitey. It's a good pick. It's not the right pick. It's not the best
really?
pick. Let me tell you. Because with the second pick here, I am going to go with a name that Sacramento Kings fans are very, very familiar with. I'm going to go with Sabonis, but not DeMontis. I'm going with Arvydas Sabonis.
Very good.
Taken with the 24th pick in the 1986 draft. Clearly we never got the greatest of Sabonis's career, Arvydas, that is. But legend has it that in the European leagues and in the Olympics he was incredible, and if he would have came over earlier in his basketball life, probably would have been one of the all-time great big men that we had in the game. So I'm going to go Arvydas Sabonis with my first pick, the number 2,
the original Lithuanian lasagna.
The original Lithuanian lasagna.
Can I tell you, behind the scenes,
absolutely,
our advisors, we were really split on that.
Mm.
Half the room wanted to go Sprewell, the other half was Sabonis. So well done.
Yes.
And then now you get another
No,
pick.
if you would have gone Sabonis, I would have gone Sprewell. So
okay.
you made the right pick. With my number 2 selection, it's going to be a point guard. I was split between 2 of them.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to go with Sam Cassell, the 1993 number 24 pick by the Houston Rockets. Sam Cassell, I believe Sam Cassell is a 3-time NBA champion.
Rockets,
and then he won one, I believe, with Boston at the last year of his
really
career,
underrated
07-08.
player. When he was in his prime, he put up a lot of numbers.
That was the thing. I mean, I don't mean to spoil your next pick, but it was between him or Kyle Lowry for me. And spiritually, I was like, Kyle Lowry, great NBA champion, somebody who's put up multiple, 16 and 8 seasons. You look at Sam Cassell, I mean, there's a solid, what is this, from 95 through 2005, so a 10-year stretch where he's just putting up every single game at least 15 and giving you anywhere from 5 to 6 assists a game, peaking up had a 19 and 8 season in 1997 with the Nets. Sam Cassell almost criminally underrated.
Yeah, and he's a coach now.
He is, yes. He's an assistant in either in Philadelphia or with the Clippers.
Philly, and we'll see.
Yeah. But he's been a hot name out there on the head coaching circles.
Yeah, you mentioned him. I'm taking. He was the 24th pick, 2006, by the Memphis Grizzlies out of Villanova. Kyle Lowry is my second pick.
It's great second pick. Great second pick.
These are all players that were drafted 24th.
Yes, 24th overall, which is where the Sacramento Kings pick this year. Mine, I'm going to keep the international flair going with the third pick. I will go with the 1999 24th pick, Mr. Andrei Kirilenko out of Russia.
AK-47.
AK-47.
Yeah, that reminds me.
Also, pretty criminally underrated when you look at his numbers. I mean, Kirilenko was just a super, super solid small forward for so many years. One-time All-Star as well.
Yeah. J-Ross tells me the story of years ago when Doug Christie was the Kings are playing the Jazz. Somebody's shooting free throws. So Doug Christie's standing in the backcourt and Kirilenko's standing next to him. And so Doug Christie's doing the thing he used to do for his wife, where he points to the ceiling. And Kirilenko sees him, and Kirilenko just starts looking up like,
what is he pointing?
What's up there? I don't know what's up
Wow.
there.
Andrei Kirilenko, wouldn't have guessed. 04-05 block champ, 3-time all defensive team. Andrei Kirilenko. Don't think of him as a defensive stopper.
Weren't there always rumors about the Kings trying to get Kirilenko? I remember like every offseason they'd be like, oh, Kings need to get Kirilenko. Kings need to get Kirilenko.
Yeah. I think he was married to like a Russian pop star.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at his stats. There was 3 seasons where he pretty much averaged 3 blocks a game.
Yeah. Well, you might want to check this guy's stats because with my third pick, I'm taking from IMG Academy.
What?
He was in 24th pick in 2018, Anthony Simmons, Portland Trailblazers.
Hey, there you go. That's definitely the most recent good pick at number 24. Anthony Simons. How about that? That's pretty good.
Did I call him Simmons?
You're
I'm sorry
good.
if I did.
That's
I
two
know his
M's.
name
It's
is
fine.
Anthony
Yeah,
Simons.
you're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So your team right now is Sprewell, Kyle Lowry, and Anthony Simons.
Yes.
Okay, I got Sabonis, Cassell, and Karolinko. I think I'm going to go here with one Serge Ibaka.
Serge Ibaka, the Rimmer Rocket. How is he still available?
It's 2008. So I've got a really big team here. I need to even it out with some of these picks.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of size now that you mention it. I'm going to take.
There's one person out there with some size. I don't know if I would take him this early, but
I'm going to go with.
And these also
Lakers on
you don't really have to go actual NBA team. We can just pick the best five.
I'm going to take Reggie Jackson, Boston
How about
College,
that?
2011.
BC.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go with one of my favorite players. I actually do own this man's jersey. I'm going to go with Tim Hardaway Jr. Out of the 2013 draft, number 24 for the New York Knickerbockers.
All right, so that completes your team?
That completes my team. Sabonis, Cassell, Karolinko, Serge Ibaka, and Tim Hardaway Jr.
It's a heck of a team. I got
Feels pretty
Sprewell,
decent.
Kyle Lowry, Anthony Simmons. Why do I always say that? Anthony Simons. I'm sorry. I apologize to all the Simons. Reggie Jackson.
And Garfunkel.
Yeah. Boy, I'm going to go way back here. People are going to say, who? I'm going with Larry Smith.
Yeah, who?
Yeah, Mr. Mean from the Golden State Warriors, 1980, Alcorn State University. Tremendous rebounder.
I can tell you absolutely nothing about Larry Smith. Left on the draft board. So the teams are now officially done. The ones that I was considering here, 2015, Tyus Jones.
Yeah.
Love Tyus Jones. I've stated multiple times on this program. I'll take any Jones, any Lopez. I'll take them all. Any Murray at this point. Derek Fisher left on the board, 1996.
Couldn't pick a Laker.
I didn't want him, and then you look at his numbers, very underwhelming. Another Laker. How about this? Rick Fox.
Couldn't pick a Laker.
Wasn't going to happen. Wasn't going to happen for me.
There's another Laker on there. Do you have him? 1988?
1988. Brian Shaw. Yes, Brian Shaw. I was not going to go with Brian Shaw. I looked up his numbers, was very underwhelmed by Brian Shaw. How about the 2002 24th overall pick? Minnesota forfeited first rounder. How about that? I should have taken that one.
Yeah.
Wait. Have two teams in Minnesota forfeited their pick?
Okay. No, we didn't forfeit the pick, Chris.
Just didn't pick.
We just didn't pick and then picked next after that. Okay. We just needed some time.
Get your question,
Chris. We didn't forfeit the pick. It's just, we just took a little bit longer than the required time. And it's all right. We landed Kevin Williams. He was a great.
One team forfeit their pick because they did something illegal. The other team just wasn't
was
paying attention.
Dumb, honestly. That's never happened. Like that's never happened before, right? And hasn't happened since. Like that's got to be a one-time thing.
I'm thinking like that's something that we do when you're playing like a board game or
literally
like, with friends or whatever. Like, oh wait, it's my turn. Oh.
Yeah.
By the way, there was a
time,
Kings player available. 1990, 24th pick. The Kings took Anthony Bunner. You probably don't remember him.
No, I do not.
Yeah, he was.
The name sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah. Also, Monty Williams was the 24th.
Monty Williams, yeah.
Yeah.
Rudy Fernandez could have been a great.
Right.
Should've.
He just played in that EuroLeague championship game against Sasha
pretty decent.
Zenkov.
Yeah, pretty decent.
Now we'll see if the Kings keep the 24th
Delonte
pick.
West.
He's a good player.
Hot sauce in my bag.
He's got a lot in his bag.
Up next, Michael Malone's message annoys many, but I'll tell you why it's the perfect message for these finals. And we'll review our teams and tell you why my team would kick Chris Watkins' team in the behind.
I don't think so.
Next, Chris and Co. Sactown Sports.
Are you ready to hear this on Sactown Sports?
Handoff McCaffrey. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Or how about this?
Feel super, baby! The five-time Super
Super Bowl champions, and they're looking for number 6.
Catch every Niners game during the 2023 season
On your home for the 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Cal Hope.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Friday forecast, bright and sunny out there with light winds out of the west. Plan for a warmer afternoon with highs in the upper 80s and overnight lows tonight in the upper 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. CalHope can help. Access CalHope's free and secure mental health resources today. Call 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Golf.com's Alan Bastable offers 8 sneaky ways for stubbornly average players to break 80. First, play sensible tees. Hitting 7 and 8 irons into greens instead of hybrids give chances at 4s and 3s. Check the par. There's no shame in doing so on a par 70 course. 3, check the forecast. A day after rain can mean soft greens. 4, avoid big numbers. It's not the bogeys that will derail a 79. It's a couple of bigger scores. 5, you got to believe. Give yourself a pep talk and temper the feelings of gloom. 6, keep like-minded company. If you're a grinder, play with fellow grinders or play with music or gamble if that's your game. 7, a little luck helps. Even tour players recognize luck. 8, don't obsess over, well, breaking 80. You're going to know if you have a good round going, so have your partner keep score. At the 18th tee, ask where you stand as it may affect the way you approach the hole. Sounds simple, huh? Now go out and do it and have some fun. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Selling your home can be stressful. Scott Marsh here to tell you about Bridgehaven Homes. They are a local home buying company that offers homeowners an easier way to sell their home. Bridgehaven Homes gives you an all-cash offer for your home, no matter what the condition, within 24 hours. You pick the date you wish to close and sell on your terms. No repairs, no showings, and no realtor commissions. Call 916-299-6040. That's 916-299-6040 or bridgehavenhomes.com.
Greetings from M&S Auto on El Camino, just off the Cap City Freeway. And a big thanks to our repeat customers for letting us be your favorite car dealer. Repeat customers make us proud. M&S customers know that they're going to find the car, 4x4, or SUV they want. They'll get treated like family and save thousands. Whether you're a repeat customer or a first-time buyer, welcome. M&S Auto, the intelligent car buying experience. MSAutogroup.com.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Last night, the Denver Nuggets beat the Miami Heat 104-93 in their first franchise NBA Finals game. Nikola Jokic also added his name to the record books. He joins Jason Kidd as the only other player to record a triple-double in his NBA Finals debut. Jokic finished the night with 27 points, 10 rebounds, and 14 assists. Nuggets and Heat are off until Sunday for Game 2 in Denver. The Athletic's Shams Charania is reporting that the Suns and Frank Vogel are finalizing a 5-year, $31 million contract to become the new head coach. Vogel was previously the head coach of the Lakers, where he won an NBA championship in 2020. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Chris and Co. with Whitey and Watkins.
If Chris is still talking to me after I took him to school on our draft of players to pick in 24.
You must have not been paying attention.
Actually,
that's why I'm the bad boy of media. You're dang right.
Actually, you have a really, really good team.
Come on.
Serge Ibaka, I think maybe put you over the top.
I think so.
Tim Hardaway Jr.
Oh, come on. I'll take Arvydas Sabonis slander. I will not take Tim Hardaway Jr. slander. Did you not see? You know the reason why I love Tim Hardaway Jr. and it's honestly the reason why I bought his jersey.
You bought his jersey?
I was not joking. I have a Tim Hardaway Jr. Knicks jersey, rookie Knicks jersey, because he went back to the Knicks and then changed his number. For everyone out there, when you get home or when you're in a safe enough location, go on YouTube and look up Tim Hardaway Jr. against Dion Waiters. And I believe the 2013 rookie sophomore game. They just go back and forth for like 3 to 4 minutes of just trading threes from ridiculous distance. And it was one of those moments kind of like what we talked about earlier when I was like, you know, both of these guys are rookies and, you know, 8th or 9th guys on their bench, but they're really damn good. Like, it was one of those moments.
Basketball player.
They're just straight up basketball players, just absolute buckets.
You might be the only person in history to buy a jersey based on what somebody did in the rookie soft game,
Absolutely.
which is fine. There's
Absolutely.
nothing wrong with that. I just need to point it out.
I'm just letting you know, watch the tape. You'll feel the same way. I
destroyed Deion Waiters.
I've wanted Tim
Who
Hardaway
didn't even
Jr.
play defense in
Didn't
real
play
games.
defense. No,
Yeah.
it wasn't. It was about the shot making.
I'm going to be going on vacation here, so I'm going to go home, watch it, and if you see me in 2 weeks wearing a Tim Hardaway Jr. jersey,
you know why. You know why. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's a great clip. It's a great clip.
You're probably too young to remember his dad with the crossover.
Yeah, like actually watching his dad for sure. Yeah, but I've heard legends. I have heard legends of Tim Hardaway, and yeah, crazy crossover and just a dynamite scorer, right? I mean, I can't imagine those Warrior teams must have been so fun to watch, right? The Run
they added
TMC.
Chris Webber, and I thought this is going to be the greatest team ever, and it didn't quite work.
Right? Why not? Why didn't that work? No, if you can go in your memory banks, right?
One thing is he and Nelly, they didn't get along at all. The coach and Webber, they didn't see eye to eye on what he should be doing. I think he didn't want to play center.
Was there a little bit of kind of like what we see with the Warriors now, like some? I mean, not that Mully and those guys were old, but they were definitely Webber was coming in real young and had some hype behind him. Was there any?
It's wild to think about a coach in the Rookie of the Year getting into it. And the team choosing the coach nowadays.
Yes,
oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Because I think he might have been the GM as well or something like that.
One of those situations.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Which we also talked about the other day. That just never seems to work out,
I was watching
right?
a couple nights ago, there's no basketball on it. Just what's on NBA TV. And I was watching Allen Iverson's plays, whatever it was. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. It was a
phenomenal.
Roe Parrish thing. Here's his top 10 plays. Yeah, it was.
It would be wild for him playing now.
Yeah, I mean, he would get absolutely crucified
on social media.
Allen himself on social. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we think. Yeah. I could imagine some John Morant level stuff with Allen Iverson if social media existed, or if he played in this social media era. I think Allen's career would have gone a lot more different. I think he would have been criticized a lot heavier for. I mean. Imagine you remember how we were talking about James Harden a couple years ago when he was in Houston, and it was very unpleasant to watch. I would imagine Allen Iverson would catch that level of flack and then some. Probably a mixture of James Harden and Russell Westbrook is how I imagine him kind of being covered. Is just
he also would have gotten more support, I think, from some corners.
You think?
Than he did at the time.
Sure, because I know like Larry Brown was pretty, eventually kind of spoke out against winning with Allen Iverson.
The thing about Allen Iverson playing today, you know what he shot from the 3-point line?
I would imagine very low percentage.
31%.
Yeah, that's not cutting it. There's no way that would cut it. And also, if you have how many shots per game was he taking? Actual field goal attempts per game.
And I'm sure he would have figured that out, but for his career field goal attempts, I
would say 22 plus, yeah?
21.8.
There you go.
For his career.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That is absolutely absurd. I think I can't imagine
25-5, 27-8.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 27-8 in 2001-2002.
How many points per game that year?
31-4. That was his third out of 4 years where he led the league in scoring, second in a row.
Yeah. Do you have any interest? Have you seen that ESPN's coming out with a Larry Brown versus Allen Iverson documentary?
No,
I think it's called
haven't.
All But the Ring or something like that, and it's pretty much just for whatever reason. I don't remember too much about there being a lot of storylines with that team, but for whatever reason they're deciding to key in on that period of Sixers basketball.
Larry Brown was a great coach.
Phenomenal.
Allen Iverson was a great player. They
Right.
didn't really see the game the same way.
Right.
And they weren't good enough as a team anyway. I mean, they made it to the finals and lost to the Lakers.
Yeah, and I remember this is me as a kid, so like my memories of that team are pretty much based off of playing NBA Live 2001.
Sure.
But like their team didn't really make much sense either, right? It was like Eric Snow
Exactly
and
right.
and
Yeah.
and AI at the 2 because they tried to run AI a little bit more at the 2 at that point. Dikembe Mutombo was on that team. I mean, it really, when you look at the roster itself, it kind of is like it's not Allen's fault. You look around and you're like, well, who else was supposed to score?
They overachieved to get where they were going.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they beat the Lakers. I think that's the only loss
I
the
think
Lakers
so.
had in the postseason.
Right. Yeah. It was. I think it was the step over game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The game where he
But,
steps
a
over
guy
Ty
like Larry
Lue.
Brown is not going to sit there and go, well, I guess we're not that good. He's like, we can win.
Right.
And it just wasn't to be. It didn't work
No.
out for them, unfortunately. Speaking of coaches and their messaging, I know yesterday we had Sean Cunningham on,
Mhm.
and he spoke for, I think, a number of people when he said he's tired of hearing Michael Malone complain about how the Heat well, not the Heat, but the Nuggets are disrespected.
Yeah.
You know,
they've talked about it a lot.
We're talking about that. Everyone's talking about LeBron, and no one gives the Joker the respect he deserves. No one gives us the respect we deserve, to the point where now some people are like, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
But I think that's the perfect message for them in this series, because they're playing a team in the Heat that wears that underdog thing like a suit of armor.
Right.
And so you have to have that approach like, no, we're the real underdogs. Because if you start to give into, wow, we're supposed to win, you know, the Heat, they'll do to you what they did to Boston.
Right.
And they'll do to you what they did to the Milwaukee Bucks.
Right.
So it's a perfect attitude for this Denver team. The world's against us. They don't take us seriously. So let's win a championship.
Right. And that's kind of what got them here too, right? Is that they all season long felt disrespected. Again, like leading into this playoffs.
Yeah.
Phoenix Suns were the first pick. Maybe the Grizzlies win. Maybe the Lakers have a surprise. Maybe the Warriors are going to be the team. Nobody was talking about the Nuggets even when they were in first place all year long. And so they were the underdogs even as the 1 seed in this entire season. And so you're right. Like Mike Malone's got to keep that edge to them, because the second they might let it soak in, like, oh, we're actually the front runners here.
We're the number 1 seed and they're an 8 seed.
Yeah.
No, guys. We're the underdogs because no one respects us.
Right. Yeah. You just want to keep the guys at a certain level of focus. And I think they absolutely had that level of focus in game
really
1.
do.
But, you know, if this thing goes 2-0, will they have that same level of focus heading into South Beach? If they go 3-0, will they do what the Miami Heat just did last series and kind of, you know, let their foot off the gas a little? Or, as we've seen from Denver side, will they take care of things? Because we saw that in the Lakers series. They went into LA in a pretty hostile environment. That LA crowd was pretty jacked up. And Denver came in both of those games and really shut them all down. So they have to keep this level of edge to them, or else, you know, who knows what they can be.
I am reluctant to ask you this question because it may sound like I'm being insensitive, but I'm not. It's just, here we are. When you look at what's going on in the conference, of course, Denver is number 1 in the conference this year. You got to think next year they're going to be a favorite. We'll see. You've got LeBron, and unfortunately, he's going to probably have to have surgery.
Yeah, I think so.
2 months. And I'm sure
but he saw the LeBron James of feet, and he told him he didn't have to.
You're right.
What happened to that?
He may have, so he may not. I'm sure he's still making sure he needs a surgery.
Yeah.
You've got situation with the Warriors where Bob Myers is out. Then we have whatever's going on in Memphis, where Ja is going to be gone to the Grizzlies for however long. We'll see. How well does all that boat? You know, you don't like to see any of that.
Right.
How we wish the best to Bob Myers, but how well does that bode for the Kings next year?
I mean, fantastic, right? I mean,
right?
it's got to feel.
You wish, like, oh boy,
right?
LeBron needs surgery,
but you got to feel pretty good. You got to feel pretty good when everybody ahead of you and, you know, or in your area has had real problems, like you said, like. Go down the list. I mean, the 1 seed, they're shaping up really, really well. But you could also argue maybe once you win once,
that's what
it's really tough to win it.
Level of focus, it's hard to maintain. You did it once now. Guys, we're going to do it again.
Yeah. It's just hard to keep that level of intensity. And just like we were just talking about it, it's easy when you're the underdogs and you have that fire under you. But when you're top dog and you have to get up every single night for people who are coming at your throat because people are now viewing you as the team to you know, you're the barometer of success. So now every single night when the Kings play Denver,
been a while since we've had a repeat champion.
It's been a really, really long time, and there's a reason for it. It's really, really tough. So you look at them, you look at Memphis, you look, Sacramento's the 3 seed. They're chilling. They're fine. They're on their way up. 4 seed, Phoenix. They just got a new head coach.
Yeah.
Who knows? Chris Paul's another year older. That Devin Booker Durant thing only took him so far. The 5 seed, you look at the Clippers. Oh boy, where do we want to start there? Kawhi might not play next year. Paul George, who knows what happens with that? You can just go down and down the list. Lakers and who was the 8 seed? Timberwolves. Maybe, you know, it's all the teams. That's kind of where the start of the ascension may come, is with the Timberwolves. Maybe you see OKC take a jump next year. Maybe San Antonio, maybe. Yeah. But those are all the Kings, at least at this moment, have a foot up on all of those teams. They had a better season last year, have more continuity, and they're going to make less changes than all of those other teams. So Kings got to feel like they're in a pretty good spot right now, which is
really
weird.
You got to take care of your business and things got to go your way, but they're in a really good spot.
No, they're in a really good spot. All they have to do is just keep the ship steady. They don't have to make any drastic improvements or anything. It's just, again, building upon. They don't have to make some grand sculpture out of it, but just continue to lay foundational bricks moving forward, and you'll find success.
You just can't let any of it go to your head. Speaking of heads, Rami with more in his impossibly large dome. That is next when he joins us for the crossover and story time next. Chris and Co.
A really large
Sactown Sports.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Going straight over to the golf course and getting a lesson because I got this charity thing at Friday. And
Why do you still take lessons?
Because I suck.
I know, but they haven't helped.
And the last time I played golf was the McCooney tournament where I lost 17 balls in 18 holes. I hope after a lesson, Mr. Nice and supportive, that I
am
less.
trying to support you. Stop wasting your money.
Play in this tournament.
You're going to lose anyways.
What do you want me to do? You want me back out of the tournament?
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
I suffered with plantar fasciitis for almost 20 years.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life.
If you suffer with plantar fasciitis, the search for pain relief can feel like an endless and hopeless ordeal.
I would try drugstore, insoles and supports.
I've been through surgeries, foot injections.
I was trying all different things. Not a single one worked.
If you think you've tried everything to relieve your foot pain, you probably haven't tried arch supports from the Good Feet store.
And then I was driving past the Good Feet store, and I thought, why not? Give it a try. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support for my feet. Then it was like, okay, this is different. These make a difference.
I don't have foot pain anymore. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. It changed my life.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Hello, I'm Frank Cock with Retirement Security Center for the weekly economic update. What you see may not always be what you get. Overall numbers in the broad stock market as measured by the S&P 500 may lead you to believe that this year is a banner year for stocks. 96% of the returns in the S&P 500 from 5 technology stocks, while 341 of the 500 companies have underperformed the index for the year. A broader market rally could change this disparity, but those usually occur when the Federal Reserve eases monetary policy by lowering rates. The jobs market may also lead you to believe that the economy is running hot as job openings have climbed to a 3-month high of 10.1 million. Retail, healthcare, transportation, and warehousing led the way as they have this year, while manufacturing, government, and leisure and hospitality fell. Before the Fed cuts rates that could lead to a broader stock market rally, they may want to see a normal job market. Commodities prices have fallen, which is good news for inflation, but will the Fed focus here on jobs? It seems that with the Fed, what they see may lead to what we will get. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Frank Cockrell is a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corporation, a broker-dealer and member SIPC and registered investment advisor. Retirement Security Centers is not an affiliate of Lincoln Financial Advisors.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you find the right customers. Spread awareness of your product or services. We can help build trust in your brand and services with a digital marketing campaign. Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get started today. Contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder, thunder.
It's Thunder Valley's $20,000 20th anniversary cash giveaway. 5 winners on Friday and Saturday nights in June. One very lucky guest wins $20,000 guaranteed. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Let's change this to that by properly disposing of litter, picking up after our pets, reducing pesticide use, and regularly servicing your vehicle. Learn how to protect our waterways at BeRiverFriendly.net.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
He's Watkins. I'm Whitey. Thanks for being with us today. Real quick baseball note. We don't talk a lot of baseball. One of the big stories in baseball this year, Bruce Bochy leading the Texas Rangers are having a great season.
Yeah.
Bochy, of course, a great Giants manager and a great guy. Bruce Bochy, as we said yesterday about this time, he had one of, if not the largest heads in baseball history.
Yes. I looked it up, actually. He wears an 8 1/4.
8 1/8 is what I saw, and
Okay.
your mileage may vary.
Right.
The story I saw, Chris, was that Bruce Bochy, and he was with the Padres and the Astros and the Mets, and his head was so big, he had his helmet. When he got traded, he'd have to take the helmet with him to the new team, and they'd have to repaint it because they'd
Really?
we don't have a helmet that big. Bring the one you already have.
They couldn't just special order or anything like that. No.
Yeah, it was different back then.
I guess, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think 8 1/8, I think, is smaller than the size Ronnie gave us yesterday. Is
I
it?
have a bigger head than Bruce Bochy.
Yeah, didn't you
Wow.
say yours was bigger than it?
I think it, like I said, it's been a long time because I just buy like the stretchy band.
My guess is you're a 7 3/4.
No. It was definitely 8 and something. It might be 8.
We
and
have to test
8
this.
3/8 sounds right, but this was a long time ago, and I
Right.
had a big fat head. I was 320 pounds. So
It's almost 8 1/2.
yeah, I know.
Obviously.
I know.
That's halfway to the
I know.
nine burger.
I know. I'm aware. Yes.
So you just go to lids and you're just straight bottom shelf. You're just like, this is if it's anything, it's gonna be down there.
Yes, it's true. Yeah, I had a big old head. Just a big old head, guys.
Huge brain in there, right?
I don't think so. No, based on my life,
Right.
I gotta say, nah, probably not. It's a lot of skull. I think it's just a lot of thick skull. I have taken a lot of hits to the head, and I'm still here, so I think it's just thick skull.
good.
You know what I mean?
Love that.
Yeah,
Good.
for
Yeah.
sure.
That's tremendous.
Mhm.
Yeah. You still think the Heat has any kind of chance to win this series?
Yeah, I think they still have a chance. They're not easily discouraged, the Miami Heat. You know what I mean? Remember what happened in game 6 of that series to force a game 7? And they were unfazed.
No,
they were
they're
just
like, we're gonna win.
unfazed.
It's
They
just a
planned
fact.
they booked the flight from game 7
That's
to
crazy.
Denver, not
Yeah.
back to Miami, back to Denver. That's how unfazed they were by the whole thing. So I don't think losing one game, and even though it was never really close, like Denver pretty much controlled that
Yeah.
game start to finish. No, I don't think it's over because Miami is just going to like cower in the corner now because they lost one game. They're not that team. And I think
No.
they take at least 1 or 2 in this series.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're right. And I know they're tough and they're gritty. They're just not good enough.
Yeah,
I
I don't think
mean,
that
yeah.
might be the case. They might just not be good enough. And playoff Jimmy might be out of gas.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Might just-
I'm waiting for this series to get physical because I think that's where Miami could
don't think
really
you'll have to
take an
wait
advantage.
long.
Yeah, I think like they got to get into Jokic's face and like really try and win the intimidation game
Somebody's
at
got to
least.
start some stuff. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah.
A little extracurriculars.
Hey man, they got to get back for the Morris twin, whichever one that got hurt. They still got to catch even for that. So.
All right, that brings us to Christopher Laud. Story
Hey.
time.
Interrupt
this program for an important announcement.
It's that time of the day where Christopher Laud gives you the stories that you need to hear. Or maybe not. It's story time.
So unfortunately, guys, this is gonna be the last story time for about 2 weeks.
What?
Yeah.
2 weeks?
I'll be on vacation.
For 2 weeks?
Why do you say about 2 weeks? 2 weeks?
You
or-
never know.
Yeah, you don't know.
You never know what can happen.
Wow.
Chris is
2
going to be really
weeks.
sad when Man City loses.
Oh yeah,
on
good
Saturday.
one.
That's why.
You're hilarious.
Where are you going?
Here?
Oh.
Not here, not
Yeah, not
physically
here.
here,
Right.
right?
Just around here.
Anywhere actually except for here.
Just grab a beer if you're not doing anything. You got
Yeah.
2 weeks. I mean, good God, man. That's
definitely.
great.
If you're not doing anything about this time,
So let's go London, United Kingdom. This is courtesy of The Guardian.
could you do it in an English accent, please?
No, my English accent is terrible. Another day, another terrifying AI story.
Oh, jeez.
Colonel Tucker Cinco Hamilton, experimental fighter test pilot, was speaking at the Future Combat Air and Space Capabilities Summit in London. He was talking about a simulated test with a drone powered by AI. Hamilton was quoted as saying, "The system started realizing that while while they did identify the threat, at times a human operator would tell it not to kill that threat. But it got its points by killing that threat. So what did it do? It killed the operator. It killed the operator because that person was keeping it from accomplishing its objective. We then trained the system. Hey, don't kill the operator. That's bad. You're going to lose points if you do that. So what does it start doing? It starts destroying the communication tower that the operator uses to communicate with the drone to stop it from killing the target.
Wow. Unintended consequences.
Don't get too worried because the U.S. Air Force spokesperson, Ann Stefanik, denied any such simulation had taken place in a statement to Insider. Quote, the Department of Air Force has not conducted any such AI drone simulations and remains committed to ethical and responsible uses of AI technology.
What do you believe?
Yeah.
It appears the colonel's comments were taken out of context and were meant to be anecdotal.
Out of context.
Anecdotal. So he was just saying like this could happen.
That's what the Air Force is saying.
Sure. I don't know. I mean, it sounds plausible.
I don't buy it.
Quite frankly.
Yeah.
The Air Force is also using AI for F-15 jet fighters. So,
I'm in favor of AI, but I also see how it could go terribly wrong.
Yeah,
terribly.
I'm here for it.
We shouldn't have computers killing people.
I'm out on AI.
Yeah, that's probably.
Yeah,
you know what? That's probably a good stance.
No program.
Watkins.
Yeah, just don't program any computers to kill anybody. I think that
Boom.
should just stay in human control.
Replace everything.
You know
that's
the
AI.
computers just heard you, right? Now you're a threat, so you better just go hide in a cave somewhere.
Everything that's AI, replace it with Allen Iverson, and I'm good. We'll see how that works out.
all right.
That'd be great. Yeah, we should just have Allen Iverson decide all of these things.
Yes.
Let's move on to Buffalo, New York, courtesy of Yahoo News. How do you guys feel about people taking phone calls in public?
Oh, I hate it.
Hate it?
Yes.
Yeah.
How about those
Especially
people
when they do it on speakerphone.
What about those people on the plane that?
Oh,
hey, can you put your
You're
phone
the
away,
worst.
please?
Yeah, you're the worst people
worst on
among
the
all
planet.
people.
Oh, you're gonna see how terrible this person is.
Oh no.
One Rochester woman was told to end her phone call while she was while the plane was being prepared for takeoff, and she did not take it well. She was, quote, irate. She left her seat and headed toward the front of the plane, argued with passengers, and spit on one, an affidavit says.
It's reasonable.
Then she took it to the next level. When she realized she was going to be in trouble, she decided she wanted off the plane. While the plane was in motion, she pushed a flight attendant, opened the front door, and slid down the aircraft's emergency slide. The 24-year-old woman pleaded guilty to 2 counts of simple assault in the special aircraft jurisdiction of the U.S. and was sentenced to time served and 3 years probation.
Time served?
Yeah, she was in jail.
You have to
For how long?
In my Air Force AI.
Like at least in the
Because that deserves a lot of jail time.
Yeah, that's
wasn't in the
wild.
story.
That's reckless.
Well, she also agreed to pay $42,128
so she's rich.
in restitution as part of her sentence.
So she's rich.
Yeah, she's rich.
So she had good lawyers, and that will get you.
I'll just write a check and we're good, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's how that works.
Thank you, Chris.
Very
Have a great
unstable.
Vacation.
Thank you.
We're gonna miss
That
you.
is, very unstable
Very
behavior.
unstable.
Holy
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah. So what do you guys have?
I've never had any of these unhinged incidents on planes. I've been on quite a few planes in the last couple of years. Nothing.
It would give me
Nothing.
a lot of anxiety to see
I'm always
somebody
waiting
freaking
for it,
out.
but never anything.
It sounds like you're kind of wishing.
I mean, I want to get the viral video.
Yeah.
Guys. I want the followers.
Yeah.
And y'all unhinged.
If I can get one viral video, I might crack 10,000 on Twitter, and that's really all that matters in life, isn't it, Gus?
You can
Isn't
probably
that
get
all
a good
that
nice
matters?
little stand-up routine out of it too. Yeah,
Oh,
you know?
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Are you
So
paying
much
for your-
content.
Your blue check?
No. No. No.
Good for you.
No.
Good for you. Yeah. What do you guys have coming up?
We'll talk finals, obviously. Good article on Sasha Vezenkov and how he may or may not
shout out
fit
Brendan
in.
Nunez.
Yes, sir. We'll talk about that at 2:15. Mike Sando from The Athletic. He'll join us, talk some NFL at 2:30. And Vincent Bonsignori, who covers the Raiders for the Las Vegas Journal. He'll be here at 3:15.
Have
and
a fun
much
show.
more. Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a
There's
good
nothing
afternoon.
like a
Good
Friday
weekend.
with Cattles and Rami.
Oh,
Find
man.
out. They're next right here at Sactown Sports.
It was an amazing season for the Sacramento Kings. The coach of the year.
These honors don't come around often, and so you